Hey guys, welcome to this first pilot episode of my new podcast, Name to Be Decided. I'm joined here by my friend David, and together we're going to be talking about all things related to the Splatoon competitive community, including Splatoon 3 news, um, Splatoon 2, anything related to Splatoon 2 in the competitive scene. We're going to be your one-stop shop. So, David, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, is Dave Fernape. I am a comp player in Splatoon 1 and 2. Currently taking a break as most people are until Splatoon 3, but I'll definitely be back. Um, I'm actually a game developer, so um, currently, I'm between jobs, so I can't. I'm legally not allowed to say who I'm working for right now, but I have a little bit over a year of professional game development experience. So I think I bring an opinion that a lot of people don't really know of. How are games made? How are they designed? How do professionals do these things? Both like coming up with the opinions as well as the actual technical side. I also have like a long competitive background in games. I used to play competitive Pokemon. I played my sister's Game Boy Color before I knew how to read. So like definitely live and breathe video games my whole life.
Okay, well, I definitely think your game dev experience will serve nicely and give us a new experience that I certainly don't have to this series. So as for me, I've also grown up playing video games pretty much my entire life. I started off playing on the N64 when I was like 4 years old, and pretty much ever since then it's been like a lifelong hobby of mine. Um, Before Splatoon, I played competitive Smash for a few years as well, so this isn't my first time in being involved in a competitive game, although it is the one that I've been most active in and the one that I've been playing the longest. I've been playing competitive Splatoon 2 since I would say, I guess, late 2017, early 2018. And then since then I've kind of just been working my way up, taking a little bit of a break lately, just because, like David said, meta is not exactly the most interesting right now.
That
Um,
sucks.
looking, yeah, it does. I'm kind of just looking forward to the next game. Uh, Definitely have plans to continue playing the game, but right now I'm kind of just trying to focus on taking a little bit more of like an analytical approach to the game, and that's why we're here doing this podcast. So the whole goal of this podcast is pretty much just to again keep you guys up to date on anything related to the Splatoon competitive community. Now, obviously, like me and David are both competitive players, so that's where our area of expertise is. So I think it makes most sense for us to focus on that side of things, but we will not shy away from talking about other topics that are related to Splatoon, like news or any other events that are happening in the community, like Splatfest or anything of that nature. It's not like a specialized podcast, but most of our perspective will be from the competitive side of things, just because that's where we're most comfortable. So another thing that I would like to do for this podcast is have guests on. So right now it's just the two of us. We may expand to have multiple full-time members in the future, but as of right now it's just the two of us. And so I'd like to bring on some guests. And this week, the guest that we're bringing on is Jordan. He is a friend of me and David's, and he is also a developer. So Jordan, welcome to the show.
Yo, what up? Glad to be here.
Yo, what up?
It's good to have you on. So what games have you guys playing lately? So I know that SWAT 2 has kind of lost all of our interest, so there's got to be something you guys have been doing to kill your time,
I have been
right?
playing Splatoon. I think I'm the only one here that still is,
I mean,
honestly.
Well,
I'll be playing like casual League with like friends and stuff, but
I'll play solo queue. It's a problem.
solo
what
queue.
is wrong with you? You're a monster.
Tell me about it. I have been playing Skyrim lately, which is a weird thing.
Ooh.
Every once in a while I get back into it. But yeah, I
Do you play with all the crazy mods and stuff?
oh yeah, definitely. You can't play Skyrim without mods.
Yeah. I got into the Overwatch 2 beta because I'm cool and have friends that are, in there. So, um, the beta's been actually kind of fun. I thought I was gonna hate it. I thought I was gonna hate only having one tank. Um, but like they finally buffed tanks and made them like tanky and not just fat DPS. So like it's really fun. Like Orisa went from like the most boring character in any game ever to like just a battle cattle. You see a horse running across the field with a javelin trying to kill you. It's so fun. Um, I've been playing Pokemon Unite. I wish that
I
game.
saw that. Have you been playing with Paladin?
Yeah, like the problem is me and Paladin both play like the same role, so we don't really play together too often. But I don't know. The game's like good, but it has more bugs than like my college projects. Like it's really
Wait,
bad.
are you saying
Every
it's more
patch.
buggy than Splatoon? Are you
Oh
saying
Yeah.
no, like 10 times worse, Jordan. Like
that's crazy?
um, currently they did a new patch where they made a bug with XP. If you're about to evolve, you just stop getting XP until you die.
It's cool. You know, I never played Pokemon Unite because they're like, nah, we hate Raichu. So I was like, I'm not playing the game because
Oh wait, why do
Raichu's
they
pretty
hate?
I just
cool, and
Why do
they're
they
just
hate
like,
Raichu? Oh, because
I don't
Pikachu doesn't
know.
evolve.
Yeah.
I remember last year when we were getting ready to do Riptide, Brock would be like, because this was after, because I was in a project team like that disbanded in like late July or whatever, but me and Brock were still going to Riptide together. So there was like a month period between the disbanding of my project and when we actually started like playing Riptide. And he would like, I would try to get everyone together for team practice, and he'd be like, "Oh, I've been playing Pokemon Unite."
Yeah,
Yeah, during that
So
time, a lot of people were playing it.
I actually
Like all
coached
my friends
Brock
were.
like a few games.
you coach?
Yeah, because so like he plays the same role I play. He'll play healer, like support,
Okay.
and then we would just go into quick play, and I would play like attacker, and then let him play healer, and I'll just tell him what I'm noticing, and then like at the start of it, it was kind of shaky, and then at the end of it, in like 10 minutes, I had like a 35 kill game. He had like like almost 30 assists. I had over 200k damage, and he had like 100k healing. I'm like, all right, you're good now.
There's healing in that
We
game.
made the
I
other
know
team
nothing
rage
about
quit.
Unite. I know nothing about it. Like
Me neither.
it has
I
the same idea as League of Legends,
League,
right?
yeah.
I've
It
never
does,
played
yeah.
that either or watched anybody play it.
Yeah,
I know nothing about it.
I've I've watched a little bit of League of Legends, but I'm still kind of clueless.
I tried to
So
learn
I at
League
least
of
like
Legends,
understand.
and I changed my mind and tried to learn Japanese instead. It was easier.
Idea.
Like I kind of like I understand the basic concept of like the type of game, like MMOs or whatever, but it's like I've never really gotten into it. I've never really
Oh,
played it or actually taken it seriously, even though it's, obviously one of the biggest esports formats there is.
it's hard. It's not simple because there's just so many different micro things, and then in League there's like 100 billion characters.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine the patches must be a nightmare for League.
Well, Riot's like a good studio, so like they fix stuff pretty fast, but like Unite,
Unlike Nintendo.
every new Pokemon that comes out has some sort of bug, and so we have to wait until the next patch for it to be fixed. Uh, it's pretty cool.
Well,
There was
Nintendo doesn't do that one to be fair though.
Yeah, no, that's
That
it's Timmy and licensed by Tencent,
yeah, I was gonna say Tencent.
but
Okay.
yeah, one of the new Pokemon had like a damage bug. One of them had like an invincibility bug. One of them had when it
Well,
uses its ultimate attack, it has a visual error, so you can be nowhere near them and your screen will just go black. And then like until they're done ulting, it's like a passive. But
Well, I've been playing. I know you guys don't really care about sports. Well, David, you sort of do, but I've been playing a lot of MLB The Show. First time has ever been on the Switch, so just kind of messed around with that because and nerding out.
yeah, I don't even know what that is.
does it so
It's
it
baseball.
has a be a pro mode, right?
Yes, it does. It has a career mode.
Okay.
So you basically like you get to pick you get to create your own player. They have a really like their character customization is really in depth in that game. Like with like you can customize like the facial features that you can customize in that game are actually pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And then you can customize like what team you want to play for, your equipment. You can choose your archetype, all that stuff. I mean, it's really fun. I mean, obviously you have to like baseball for it to be fun, but like I've been having a really good time with it.
That
Maybe you'll
sounds
see it on
cool.
YouTube at some
A
point.
lot of sports
It is
games
pretty cool.
recently I've heard have been pretty garbage, so that sounds good. At least
Oh,
there's
yeah,
It's
Madden has
so
been
MLB
trash.
is made by Sony, whereas a lot of the other popular ones are EA. So you have like a
Yep.
different philosophy in how they're ran, but they're both like they both come out every year.
Yeah, so like, cause I know 2K is fine also. Like they make NBA games,
Uh-huh.
and as from what I've heard, 2K is pretty good too. I've never played it, but I've heard good things about it.
killer
But like
plays a
as far as
lot.
Madden goes,
Mhm.
like Madden has just it's EA, so they don't. It's just all microtransactions, and
Oh boy.
they don't really focus on their
Crazy.
their franchise modes or the real. They don't really focus on making the gameplay actually realistic. It's just oh look at this cool player. Why don't if you spend this many coins, you can have him for whatever. It's like, and it doesn't help that a lot of the players are younger, so they kind of just prey off of that audience. And because they make so much money off of suckering people into that, they don't even have to really focus on making it actually feel like a real sport because it just feels like you think the games you guys play are buggy. That game is I still watch a lot of YouTube content just because it's fun to watch people play it, but it's like from an actual like realism perspective, it's laughably bad. Like you'll have there's like glitches where the ball like will like hit a player's hands and then fly backwards 50 yards in the air, and it's like what the hell? It's just
Yeah, like I put like because I love ice hockey and I watch every hockey game and I play and like so I get the NHL games every like 4 years when they update their physics engine because in between the same the
yeah,
4 years it's the same game with an updated roster. It's like okay the rosters aren't going to change that much year to year. Besides I'm gonna do like I like playing like the GM modes or be a pro modes or whatever.
yeah,
So it's like I'm already messing with the rosters a ton. So it's like just every 4 years they update the physics engine, but in between it's like the same game, just more microtransactions to play
yeah. I
online.
mean, in some of those games you can download roster. Like if you really want to, there's people that
NHL
will
doesn't
make
do
new
that.
rosters. NHL doesn't have that.
No.
Well, because I know like because you can do that for some of the other games. Like if you really wanted to, like you probably do that for Madden, maybe for 2K. I don't know, but you can basically like download a roster and it's like that year's like the next year's roster, and
Mhm.
then you don't even have to worry about like the physics engine or whatever. Because I mean they haven't changed their physics engine in like
Oh yeah.
I mean I don't
Ever
even know
since
how long.
the next gen console, like the turn gen of consoles, so like when Xbox One came out and PS4 came out, that's probably the last time they updated their engine.
And their problem is they like every time they change the engine, they remove some of the non-gameplay related features. So like you used to be able to like hire a full like coaching staff. Like you could pick your head coach, your coordinators. You could you could even do stuff like you could customize the stadium, like design how it looks. You could design your own logo, design your own uniforms. You could even customize like some of the pricing stuff. Like you could, like if you want to decide how much the price of a hot dog is, then you're more than welcome to do
Yo.
that.
Yeah, you could get fired if you
And
make
now
food
it's
too expensive. It's pretty funny.
oh yeah, you can. You can actually you can bankrupt your team,
That's
and you'll get fired.
awesome.
Yeah, it's very fun, but sometimes like these
And
features will
if
get like removed or like they just won't come back in iterations of the game. And it's
exactly.
like,
And then no, and what's even worse than that is they won't just remove them and not bring them back. They will bring them back. And then their marketing campaign will be, "Oh, look at this brand new feature that's never before been in this series before." Like,
wow.
what do you think? Like, we're not stupid. Some of us have been playing these games for 15 years. We remember these features. Like, you really think we're going to fall for this? EA, we're not stupid.
Yeah. But like so we're spending like a lot of time playing other games recently. But like I think all of us have had what like I think Larios has like 6,000 hours in Splatoon. Me and Jordan probably are like
I think
also up
it's
there, like 3,000, right?
It's
yeah, it's
500 last I checked.
Yeah.
that's a lot.
So like for I don't know, because I would say Jordan, you said you still play solo queue and stuff, but like, when was the last time you scrimmed?
Forever since Eventide disbanded, I probably haven't.
Right, and so that's probably like a year now. And then back then, you
Yeah,
used to scrim. You try to scrim like almost every day or like every
yeah.
other day. I know me and
I mean,
Lados.
you and Frito really. I mean, you guys were really like trying your best to keep it together. I mean, I know things weren't going so well at the end, but you guys. I remember you guys were playing like every day.
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder where it would have went if we didn't disband, but well.
It was just
Cool.
scheduling issues, right? Like
Yeah.
you had players that were all working or whatever.
It wasn't me and Frito, but the rest of our team couldn't get like couldn't make it to practices most of the time, so we had to disband.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what happened to PA on the first go around. Just people couldn't show up to practice, and it's sucks. Life happens. And when you have a game like this that isn't supported by the company that makes it, you kind of have to prioritize pretty much just about everything else ahead of it because this game isn't really good for much except for a good time, and even that's debatable. So
Right. So like,
Dude, I had a really good time when I ran Eventide, but uh, oh well,
yeah, I mean, I
I
loved being
missed
on
it.
team. Like, me too.
so why
It's
are
what kept
there
me.
less and less
It's what kept my
teams though?
motivation.
Like everyone says they love teams and we remember teams and like we associate people with teams, right? But like there's less and less teams and there's more just pickups, right?
Yeah, I think. Um, I mean, we can like we'll get into this more later when we talk about like Splatoon 2, but I think like when people play, I feel like it's mostly just there's not as much of a reward. Like, what's the reward to being in a team? Because I mean, I know there's a lot of benefits if it's like a friend group of people that you really like playing with, but if you're just playing to win, I I can understand why people don't really see the benefits because I mean, I know I think Negus did a video on this, but it was like talking about how top players basically don't even have to practice and they can just show up after not playing for 6 months and play in a pickup and still whoop everybody. Like this game is in a state where you're not really gonna see a benefit if you get a team and you grind all the way up. It's not really gonna matter because these top players can just come out of retirement and whoop your ass anyway. Like
But is that a thing with the game or is that a thing with us as a community, like how we're
I think
running it?
it's I think it's
it's
really
definitely I would say it's a community. Um, what were we gonna say, Jordan?
I think it's really hard. Like in the current time, it's really hard to start a team when you don't know where you're gonna go next. Have no idea like what you're gonna play in Splatoon 3,
Right.
um, things like that. Because you don't know like if the weapon you want to play is gonna be garbage. Like I was really planning on playing bow, and I don't know if I am anymore because the latest trailer made it look pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely a part of it. I mean, that's something that I was concerned about even back when I was doing this project team. Like it was something that was in the back of my mind. But now I'm at the point where it's like I don't even think I'm going to pursue making a team until the next game comes out for that exact reason. I just don't want to have to worry about like how those roles are going to translate to the next game.
Yeah, it's really hard to recruit
And I
for
also,
something that you don't even know how the game is gonna play.
yeah,
So
exactly. I
when
mean,
Splatoon
you could
1
be a charger
when
main
Splatoon 1 went
and you
to
don't even know.
2, right? There's like a whole bunch of disbanding, but like the higher level teams stayed and like they just figured it out. And like you'll see like between metas when like the support role will shift entirely, like good players just figure it out and they just make a comp that is seemingly meta, but just off what they just wanted to play. You know what I mean?
I think
Yeah, I mean, I
you
think
have to have a team though in the first place. You can't really
Right.
make a team right now. I think that's impossible
Okay.
or very,
yeah,
very
I
hard.
agree. I don't think it's smart for anyone. Like my advice would be to anyone who's a free agent right now, just don't make a team right now. Just wait
Right.
until the next game comes out because you don't know if the weapon that your team is playing is going to be obsolete or if it's even going to be in the next game in the first place. And unless you're like a top level player that understands the fundamentals of the game super thoroughly, and can just pick up a weapon and do well with it, then that's gonna hurt you a lot. I think that's why those top teams were able to make that transition so smoothly because like their game knowledge and their understanding of how every weapon
Yeah,
works,
they're
even
just
weapons that
that
they
good.
don't play, they understand how all the weapons play. Even the ones that they're not personally using, they understand how they work and how to play around them. And they can take that knowledge in the next game and they'll just be way ahead of everybody else because they're not focused on, I play this weapon, this is what this weapon does. They're looking at the entire state of the game and how the weapon that they're using fits into that. And so they're able to translate to other weapons better. So I feel like if you're, unless you're a top player, it's a lot more difficult to do that. And I also think it's the reason why it's like I'm a little concerned about because I think the state of this game, like the ending state of this game, is going to make that really hard for the beginning of the next game. Because I mean, you think about the meta we have right now; it's basically just special spam, and you have people one tricking weapons that are just brain dead. Like people that will play KL or K shot and just not switch off of it, and that's based on what I've seen so far. I don't think that's going to work in the next game, and unless you're a top player and you're not just missile spamming for the sake of missile spamming, you're not really going to know what to do. So I think like it's definitely true that top players can make that work, but for the vast majority of us, I don't think it's really a viable option. We can't just be like, "Oh, we'll just figure it out." Especially since we don't even know like cuz I mean, in this game it's basically like you have a backline, you have a support, and you have two aggros in some capacity. I mean, we don't even know that that's how the meta is going to shape out. Maybe the next meta is like all aggros, or maybe it's like you want to have two ranged weapons. I mean, we don't know what the next game is even going to look
I'm
like.
gonna be
To be
done with
fair,
easier.
towards the end of 2, we stopped having as full backlines too. So
That's true. So, I mean, a lot of people are running like bamboo, which is, I mean, you can debate whether or not that's a backline, but
it
it's
depends how
definitely
you
not
play
like
it,
a
in my opinion.
traditional. It's not a traditional backline. Most of the bamboos that I come against play it like a
Midline.
midline.
Yeah.
Like they play it very
That's how you're
aggressive,
supposed to play that, in
as
my
they
opinion.
should. I mean, the weapon is broken. Like
That's
you should.
what I play.
Yeah. I don't know. I just
So
see a ton of
while we're
teams disbanding and then pickups just being the thing, and I don't know if that's necessarily good for the community. And I hope that changes for Splatoon 3. I don't know.
I think that's just a right now thing.
Okay.
I agree. I mean, I think it definitely wasn't like that when this game first came out, and I don't think it's, and I
I
think it'll
think
be the same for Splat 3.
I think if you make a team when this game comes out, it'll be awful. Imagine how many FA posts you're going to go through. Because
I know
when the
it's gonna
game comes
be
out, it's going to blow up. Every server that's for FAs is going to explode.
I basically
because yeah,
I have like a
because I mean
group
every
that we're like, okay, when Splatoon 3 comes out, we're gonna make a team. We're just not gonna be team right now because none of us want to play Splatoon 2.
Yeah, that
I'm
makes sense.
kind of in the same boat right now. I mean, I would just if I found someone I want to play with, I'd be like, hey, I like playing with you, but I'm not gonna make a team with you because I don't know what this game looks like.
Game
The
sucks.
only plan I have for 3 is I'm going to make a team. That's it. I know I'm going to. Advertise coming back.
Yeah, I like to.
Reveal.
Haven't I?
Wow,
Haven't
you heard
I?
it here first. Breaking news. But while we're on the topic, I mean, since we basically already touched on it, one of the things that I wanted to talk about was the current state of Splatoon 2, like the meta, community, the game as a whole, like solo queue, um, anything. Just how do you guys feel about
Okay,
the state
so
of the game right
I
now?
still am playing solo queue. You can tell that competitive players aren't playing anymore. It is awful. Like, what'll happen is the whole lobby will be people that are like casual. I don't know what you call it when you get the X rank, but you still play, but you don't play competitively. You don't really care about winning or losing. I guess that's
Solo
casual.
queue, just solo queue warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
that's a good term.
So what'll happen is you'll get a bunch of those, and there'll be like you, which is a competitive player on one team, and this top 500 on the other team. It's almost always like that, no matter what power you're at, and you
Yeah.
still lose. Like I'll be like 2,000, and you'll lose still like 50 points because I don't know. It's
Like,
ridiculous.
there's so, like, the range that you could be in for X rank, right, is so wide, and then there's not enough the player base is like not enough for it to be
Yeah, all there is
accurately
like
ranked.
Yeah.
the Soul Cube Warriors at the like the low to mid, and there's not really a mid to high, and then there's a high.
Right.
There's
And
this
there's
huge
players who
gap.
just
That's
want
why
to.
it just sucks. I still play though because I want to keep my mechanics up. Don't really league with people.
Yeah. I'm kind of. I think what I'll do is I'll start getting back into it later on, just because I feel like I'll have like if I take a couple months, that should be enough for me to get my aim back and everything.
And the only thing
I mean, as
is
far as like,
I have no idea what I'm gonna play in 3. I have no clue.
Uh,
well, I mean, I
Carbon
think
Bomber.
you have experience playing a lot of different things, so I think
Yeah.
no
I'll
matter
find
what happens,
something.
you'll.
I just don't know what it's gonna be.
I hope Charger is like finally gonna be in a like balanced state.
Yeah, because I
Okay.
mean, in two it was like so it was all over the place in two.
Yeah.
I think E-liter will still be bad, especially with
Uh,
the specials we've seen. I don't see is it really aggressive playstyle, and E-liter doesn't do well in that. I don't think
No,
unless
it
they
doesn't.
change something, which I don't think they did. Probably E-liter's still gonna be there. Some people are
okay.
gonna be like extremely cracked at it, and they're scary, but that's it.
Yeah, but they could also just bring back damage up and put it on E-liter
Yeah, I
and
guess.
just chuck burst bombs and tap shot
I'd
people.
rather see
Okay.
a range increase.
Do we want to talk about like, like
So that's what we want to transition into. What do we want?
Okay, I'm gonna talk about what I don't want. If
Oh,
any
okay.
backline gets big bubbler, it's gonna be awful. Like
What's the
imagine
point?
Hydra.
Yeah,
I
If
mean,
because I
Hydra
mean, you
had
can literally just because you could just sit in there, and like, what are
yeah.
they gonna do about it?
I mean, I guess like when you're pushing objective though, like I guess it's probably like a good is good,
Okay,
and then
David, look at it this way: you're on tower, right? And you're a Hydra. You put down big bubbler, and what do you do now? You-
get ratioed.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
you just. I mean,
I
I'm
hope
worried.
you can't put
I'm
it on tower. I
genuinely,
hope you can't put it on tower.
yeah, I'm genuinely worried about the special because it would change the way every objective, and we haven't seen any objective besides Turf War so far, but it would change like in
You can
Splatoon
literally
1.
on all. Oh wait, I don't know about Rainmaker, but all the other modes, you can just put it on objective, and then you can't do anything
If you're
anymore.
about to take the lead, you just put the bubbler down. And it's like, oh,
Yeah,
Rainmaker goes. If you're on tower, you just chuck it down. If you're on zone, it's like, oh, half the zone can't be painted. If it's a dual
yeah.
zone, you probably cover the whole thing. Um,
Which, by the way, I think the
Yeah,
first map we saw in the reveal trailer, I think that's gonna be a dual zone map. Either that or we're gonna get rid of the
I
spire
think
in the
so.
middle.
oh,
I mean, I think like I'd like to see some new modes in the next game too. I mean, because right now, I think the state of this game is like one of the things that I hate the most about this game, honestly, is that everyone keeps pushing spot zones. Like, and I'm not the only one that has this opinion. Like some people, like it's just not fun. Like I understand it's the quote unquote most balanced mode, but everyone whines about special spam and paint spam, whatever. Well, zones is the mode that rewards that more than any of them combined. So the more you want to play splat zones, the more you're just like exaggerating how bad this meta
I
is.
think if we played
It's like
clams more, I think that would actually be the most balanced mode. And also if we had better
I
map.
think
But
so. I mean, I
as
think
far
clams is a
as
great mode. It's just
I think we
it's just
just
also the
haven't
most complex.
what's the
So
word?
people don't really want to they don't really want to put in the time to learn it because it's
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 not like
too
zones where you basically everything you know about it is you just look up a JP video and there you go zones. But there's not really things for like that with clans. I don't think we've
yeah,
I can't think of the word. I'm trying to think of a word right now, but
we haven't optimized it.
yeah, basically that's not the word I'm thinking of, but that's basically what I'm saying.
you know, we haven't solved what makes
Yeah,
clan
that's what.
clan
There we
like
go.
we
That's the
haven't
word I was looking for.
and
I think there's just so many things that go into it that it's hard to come up with like one
I
specific
don't think
game
there
plan for
should
how
be
you
just
attack
one.
it.
I just don't think we played enough for there to be a a team going into it is just like, okay, this is exactly what we know to do. Only top layer players are like at that point.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying like there should be one way to win. I'm just saying like there's like for zones, there's like one like cohesive idea of how the mode should work. I feel like clams we don't have that. Like there's some people who think um, we should like the clams is a very like you're supposed to throw specials at the goal and just run in. And there's other people who focus more on like the different mechanics with the clams and how you collect
Flanking
them. And I feel like
the comps too.
yeah, and I feel like people just like everyone kind of has like some of the picture, but I don't think anyone's really like put together the complete picture of how you're supposed to play the
Do
mode.
we have any teams that are really good at clams in two? I can't think of
Um,
any.
not that I can
I
think
can
of off
think
the top of
of
my
I
head.
can think of during like baller meta, I can very clearly envision like some of those older teams that were very like they solve quote unquote clam blitz before everyone else because they're
Yeah,
still somewhat new at that point and they're like
but I
trying to
mean
figure it out. But
that was just because we lacked counterplay though. I mean
right.
that wasn't actually the definitive solution to the mode. It was just like we didn't know any better at the time.
I think so much of it also just has to go off like the unpredictability of where the clams are gonna spawn and like when they're gonna spawn and like so many maps, if you just happen to be pushing at the right time, you snowball because 8 clams spawn within throwing distance. But if you're pushing like the worst time is like a minute before the game, right? That's when the clams
Yep.
are at their least, or not their least, but they're not at their highest. They're just average, and so you could have everything fall into place for a good push. You could outplay the other team. You could pull out all their resources. You could invest your resources properly and get a push, but it's not the game's
The clams just
flow,
aren't there.
right? The game's flow doesn't want you to score at that point because it's probably going to be your last push because of the way the timing goes. Um, and if the clams just haven't spun the way that you need them to, where like the last 30 seconds in overtime, the clams are just popping everywhere. I think the rate doubles, or at least every spawner, every main emitter will pop out four if they're not already occupied. And so like I don't know, the game almost determines the flow of the push of the objective, which is very weird.
Yeah,
That's why
and that's the same reason. Like I don't. Yeah, like I think I know what you're gonna say. Sturgeon, like maps like Sturgeon, where the map is like the map kind of dictates whether or not your push is gonna be effective.
Wahoo.
that's true.
Yep.
I was gonna say that's also why like Inkblot sucks so much. Well, I think it sucks. I hate it. Hate Inkblot clams. It's the worst. You get pushed
Yeah.
once and you lose.
Yeah, I mean it's just because it's so easy to set up on that. Like, well, it's you can throw clams basically from like 3 steps from mid
Yeah.
because of the step there. Like you don't really even have to commit.
I think
I
it's
I
just
think
feel
a
like
map
that's another thing.
problem, not a mud problem.
I think not
Well, the other
having to
thing,
commit
like,
is like the general problem of this game because
yeah,
almost
I
all
agree with
I
that,
the
mean,
yeah.
almost all the specials that are good, right? They require very little commitment. Like in Pokemon,
exactly.
we have risk versus reward plays, right? Where you calculate what's the risk of the this play, what's the reward, what's the likelihood that it works, is it worth it, right? And bomb spam, staying back, painting, playing like for armor, playing for missiles, you commit a lot less. I don't have to put too many resources in a risky position. I can just play very safe. And while some people argue special slam isn't the way because better strategies will overcome it, it's the safest. And then I don't know, the game just kind of lent to this kind of boring meta of you don't like the risk versus reward. You just spam everything, right? You just spam missiles, armor, bombs from afar.
Yeah, think about how
Yeah,
many commitment specials we have in two. Like Inkjet, Hammer, I guess. Yeah, Hammer.
baller maybe.
Baller? Baller
Depends on how
sucks
you
though.
use it.
Splashdown kind of, but yeah, it's like a I'm dying,
Oh,
so I pop it.
Splashdown is definitely the commitment.
Commit to dying.
You commit to dying,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
I feel like I'm forgetting a special. But then look at Splatoon 3 where like all of them are commitments.
yep.
Like the Ink
I
Strike
mean,
is the
I mean,
What
that's not
the
where
zip
the
line one? I forget the names of all of
The
them.
crab tank, the Inkzuka's back.
A
You also have
whale,
the
I'm
zip line,
curious
which is
about. I don't know about that one.
that one's weird.
That one's
Cause
kind of
like,
a not a commitment. You pop it and you rush forward. I guess you make lets you commit.
right,
It's like a
entrance.
backup.
You need to have some sort of entrance space making specials, but my concern with the big bubbler is like, what's the risk of just plopping it down on the objective?
Like we even saw
yeah,
the charger do that. Well, not really. I think somebody came
Well,
in and put for it down the charger.
yeah, it
But
was
yeah,
the
the charger
roller
just stood in
came.
there and shot them.
It's pretty
yeah. I
funny.
mean, I think it's just as a whole, a big problem with this game is just things are taken out of like us as the player. Our player skill is just devalued. I think that's like the overall problem with this game. Like,
Okay, the
it
overall
doesn't take.
problem of Splatoon 2, like for sure, is power creep. That's the problem. Like, think of your most fun meta that we had. Even if it was broken, it was fun, right? But like,
Yep,
what happened was that thing, whatever was fun about it, got nerfed into the ground, and then other things that weren't good now became meta. That's what happened to shooters. We're in the shooter meta right now with 52, and
yep.
it was because like everything else got nerfed. The most fun
Interesting
meta to me
missiles.
was when people were playing like 3 ballpoints. It was awesome.
The most fun meta for me was like when it was like Kunder double inkjet. That was like,
I knew it was gonna be
oh my
inkjet.
gosh.
No,
This is big
triple H
fun.
The
might
like
be the
no,
most
I'm
fun.
I'm dead serious. The Kunder meta was like so much fun.
Yeah, because it let you inkjet, which I know you like.
Well, no, it wasn't just that either. Like because um when you play against like Kunder, it's like I don't know, it just felt like it was more interesting than just playing against like a junior where it's literally just like you just sit there and you just spam bombs and paint the whole game. Like the Kunder was actually like
Well,
the
the
Kunder would actually
Condors
go in.
sit there and spam bombs the whole game,
It was
wouldn't it?
from torpedoes.
Well, it could throw torpedoes, but like it was like the good Kunder players would actually try to take the 1v1s because if you push in with a Kunder, if you have a teammate with you, it's
Oh yeah.
actually like you can actually take engagements with it. Like the torpedo wasn't just there to spam. Like you could actually it was really more of like a supportive tool for your teammate. Like you throw like, the torpedo and you go in with like your aggro next to you.
We were on PA
And
then,
like
right? Because
yeah, so yeah, PA was around then.
No, but
that was when
me and you
I
were
hated that meta because I would ride tower and they'd throw stupid torpedoes at me the whole game. It was awful.
I know.
I would play charger and eventually you're gonna miss one of the torpedoes. So you gotta get off tower.
Yeah, that's
I hate
it's
that.
true. I mean, I think that's like I remember like Weird Scrim Splatforce. Do you remember that? And they would play Kunder like a year after the Kunder meta just for
Yeah,
that
and
reason alone.
they would play it on pit. That was the worst one. People throw torpedoes the whole game on that map, and you just sit on tower and you have to keep like trying to shoot it. CJet was
Yeah, and it's
nerfed
like
for that.
yeah, and every time you have to shoot a torpedo with a charger, it's like
Yeah.
it's, the time commitment is such a waste of time. But it was like it was balanced though, because charger in that meta was so broken that if you gave the charger too many shots for free, it was just like you're gonna get Stingray for free, and you're just gonna
and then
So that
Charger
was
got
kind of fun.
6 different micro buffs or micro nerfs. Like
yeah.
they would nerf one thing at a time, like 4 consecutive patches, maybe even 5, and then like
Man, remember how many paint nerfs there were? It was
yeah, there was like
ridiculous.
There was like
3 different.
yeah, there was like three of them, and then they had to yeah, and then they nerfed Stingray too, so it was like
And
So
they
it was,
increased the special paint for that too. They nerfed in the ground,
yeah,
which
that's what I'm
I don't
saying.
know
It
if I
got,
mind. It made me play bamboo, and that I think that made me a better player.
but the same thing, the opposite happened with missiles. It got buffed maybe 8 patches,
yep,
until eventually people just decided, oh, what if we used
it's
it?
good now.
And
Yeah,
then
the problem they it's the power creep. They just keep buffing and nerfing stuff until like, wait a minute, we did it too much. You
Well,
know, then
I
that's
think
your
another problem with that is that we as a community don't always realize right away like what is
exactly that's the
actually
problem. That's what I'm saying.
stupid. Like Junior didn't become good for like a year. Like
I played.
that
Remember
buff they
how
made,
early
like
I played
Junior hasn't
Junior?
been buffed. Junior hasn't been buffed in like literally 3 years. Or no, not even. It hasn't been buffed. The buff that made Junior good was 4 years ago.
Right.
and people didn't realize it was good until like
Years ago.
summer of 2019.
Remember that K52? Before it got even buffed, we were playing against it and hated it.
Yeah.
Like we were one of the few people
Yep.
that played against it, and we hated
Yeah,
it
and
so
it
much,
was
and it kept
awful.
getting
And
buffed.
then they buffed it again.
And they buffed it like 3 times after that, I think.
Yeah, I was
And then
Yep.
nerfed it once. Oh
junior
no, a little bit less paint.
in SDL days. Like I was playing junior back then. They're like, "Why?" I'm like, "This is the next, this is the next support weapon. It's been buffed so much." And they're like, "Yeah, but
Yeah.
like, it's not meta." I'm like, "It's going to be." Like, "Yeah, but it's not." It's like, what makes you? Once a good player plays it, now it's meta. It's like, well, okay, forehead. Why? Why is it like that? Because it's good. Just play it now. You don't
Yeah,
have to
It's like,
wait.
well,
shortly
why haven't
after
you been
that,
playing it for the last 6 months then?
Right.
I think shortly after that, that's when they did the object shredder thing to Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it was the
the
same thing with Inkjet too,
Ray was
because they
kind
like because Inkjet was it was like the most broken special in the game on release, and then they nerfed it, and then like everyone was like, oh, it sucks, like, oh, it's terrible.
That
You
happened
have
to
to run a
everybody.
pure of you have to run a pure of SPU for it to be viable, and then like 6 months later in the summer, like everyone's running triple Inkjet and it hasn't received a single buff. It's like, and then they nerf it again, and then the same thing happens again. It's like I just don't understand why it takes us so long sometimes to realize how good some weapons are.
we
Like,
don't
is it just because we don't like the
yeah, we
experiment, or
don't
what is
lab
it?
we don't lab enough things the way that
Lab it
JP
out.
does. And once a good player, we only see a good player do it here in the West, and then we're like, okay, we can do it now.
That makes sense.
We should hate
I think.
Squeezer more than anything else.
Oh, it's
Just like the way
Oh,
Squeezer's
JP
stupid.
does. But we just haven't like we've only seen one or two
nobody
top
plays
players
it.
do
That's the
it.
problem.
Right.
It's so broken. Like, if people realize how stupid that weapon was,
I was
then it
just
would be
talking
the
about
most.
this yesterday. I was like, I wish I was good at Squeezer because I'd be top 500.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like seriously, it has almost as much range as a C-Jet, and it kills like super quick, and it has bubbles and perfect accuracy. Like, how are people not playing this? Like, I understand it's a tap
Probably could
fire,
play it
but
because I play CJet, but
Yeah.
Tap
You just
fire
say
doesn't
top
bother me.
alto. Wow.
people make a bigger deal out of the tap fire than needs to be made. Like, it's really not as big of an obstacle as people make it.
If you just
I just
do
You
it
just have,
for a bit, it's not a problem.
it, as long as you're like, the only issue is if you're running a high sense. But if you're not running too high of a sense, then because I think like for me, I couldn't play it because my sense is too high.
I was
Every like
negative
tap of my
4, so
finger. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. So if you're playing like a low sense, then that's not even going to be an issue at all. So I don't know why people make such a big deal out of it. They're like, oh, pro is so much easier. I'm just gonna play pro. Like, Squeezer is literally just better than pro, if I'm being honest.
people still play pro.
I don't think so.
Not anymore.
I think
Well,
so.
not as not as often anymore. But they don't play Squeezer that much either.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think people just don't want. I think part of the problem is like Squeezer isn't good because it's a spammy weapon. Like I think that's part of the issue is our meta now has gotten to the point where you just want safe, fast, non-committal weapons. Squeezer's not really like it's not like you just spam and you just like you actually have to. It's good because the main weapon itself is good and you can slay things with the
Yeah,
main
you
weapon.
gotta have a brain, and it's really hard to
Also,
do.
like,
And that's not really
uh,
the way that the meta has been trending. Yeah, exactly. Like you don't have to play. You don't have to have a brain if you play K52. So
Squeezer is hard. I've tried it a few times. It's a weird weapon. I'm also really bad at the bubble tech. That's my fault.
yeah, I mean, bubble tech is it's not an easy weapon. Like it takes a lot of like because bubble tech and the fact that you have to tap fire and it's not hard to like it's not hard to aim it because it has perfect accuracy, but it's like it's definitely not an easy weapon.
And you're making me want to play it.
yeah.
You should.
So
I
Yeah, I'll
mean,
play
why
it for
not?
the
This
next 3
game is
months.
only 4 months left in this game. You might as well
do you
become
think
like
it'll
a
come
top
back in
squeezer.
Splatoon
And
3?
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
I think every weapon will come back. Oh, maybe not Goo Trooper, but I think
Yeah.
every
I hope Gucci
normal
doesn't
weapon will
come
come back.
back. Every normal
I
weapon.
don't think I don't think anything got cut besides, like, I don't even think any variants got cut besides Sheldon picks. Um,
Well,
Well, they'll have new Sheldon picks
Dual
though, I'm sure.
Sculpture technically got
right. That's what I
cut,
was gonna say.
but
And
I
then
hope
they
they bring
became a
those
new
back.
weapon.
Sheldon picks, and I think there was a brand that got cut.
There
Like,
was a brand that got cut.
yeah, like the
Um,
Kensa
wasn't
variants were
there?
like equivalent.
I can look that up.
Unless there was just more Sheldon picks than I remember. Because what Wasabi was Sheldon's picks was the bento charger.
No, I
Sheldon's
are.
picks. Splatoon
I don't
1.
know.
Okay, the Sheldon's picks were Bamboozler
Yeah.
MK3, Berry Splattershot Pro, Fresh
Uh-huh.
Squiffer, Permanent Ink Brush. Oh, the mini Splatling looks cool. I've never seen that
Yeah.
before. Soda Slosher, Tempered Dynamo Roller, Wasabi Splattershot.
Right. So whatever the bento charger was didn't come back. So I think there was another brand of stuff that just
Oh
didn't come
wait,
back.
there's a volume 2. I didn't realize that. Aerospray
Uh,
PG, Bento,
there you go.
Cherry, Korokoro. Wait, they had a Korokoro roller?
Yeah,
Yeah, they did.
I didn't know that.
this is fun.
Grim Range, Heavy Splatling, Inzap, and Sploosh. So the ones that didn't come back looks like the ones that became Kenza's and
Right.
Splat Roller. Wait, no, that guy
Yep.
had a
No, that
Kenza.
got
That had a
canceled.
Kenza. So there's Charger. Okay, yeah, everything that got Kenza.
Right. So Kensa replaced half the Sheldon picks, and then the other half came Sheldon picks. I'm not gonna lie, as cool as the Kensas are, I like I like a colorful game. Like I just want the
Me too.
weapons to be bright and colorful. Like black and white is a cool aesthetic for some things, but it was like I was playing the other day. I was like, this game is so dull in terms of how the weapons look. I want brighter. I like the way they look in the new game. I want brighter stuff. I want like it should be more flashy, eye catching. Um, I know people say that's distracting, but that's just a new skill ceiling, and it's good for like spectators. We need to make the game something spectators love to watch.
I
So,
think
is there anything like, so we talked a lot about the gameplay and the meta. Like, is there anything when it comes to like the community and the way that we organize things and communicate as a community? Like, anything about that you guys would like to see changed?
I wish Play to Splat didn't do as bad as it did.
I really liked Pay to Splat. Like, I would have played in it more if it
Some Peace
was
Clips
handled
wallet.
better.
I
He
don't
spent
even.
so much money.
Here's the problem, right? I think since that went bad, nobody's gonna look at another iteration of that and be like, "This will work now."
Right.
You know what I mean?
It
I
needs to
mean, I
be. We
think,
need an organization to do it. Like it has to be an organization. And the crazy thing about why Pokemon Unite is succeeding, even though it's a buggier game with like other like worse issues, um, is organizations picked it up. And like I know because like I actually started like I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many like organizations that are even like they have development positions open. And I started applying when I was looking for a job. Like there was big orgs picking the game up, and we just don't have that for Splatoon in the West. And like, why is that?
Well, every time we get an org, they disband. The
Oh,
in-game thing,
well,
TBD
it's,
thing happened.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the TOs just aren't appreciated enough, I don't think, by the players because the players, I mean, I know, like, you guys remember that whole, like, remember, like, Jordan, like, the other Jordan from Ink TV was literally having, like, arguments on Twitter with some of these players because of, they just didn't, they were just whining about how they didn't like Ink TV's tournaments. And it was like, the tournaments are not designed to cater exactly what the player wants. Like, so if these players are going to be so ungrateful and just continue to complain about these tournaments, then why? I mean, why wouldn't you quit? I mean, what? Like, why would you? It's not like you're getting paid. If no one even cares that you're doing this for the community, why would you stay?
Right. I mean, K-Bot announced his retirement today.
Did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
For good?
From TOing, I don't know the details, but that was an announcement and
I didn't see that at
like
all.
a thing that happened
Was that
in
on?
our hotel room at Riptide. He was like, "Yeah, like I don't really want to be a head TO anymore." And then so this time when he was
Yeah, I remember
TOing,
that.
he was basically just teaching new TOs what to do.
It's
Um,
gonna be
Oh,
crazy.
I
Yeah.
guess I didn't
yeah,
realize that. I thought he was talking about his retirement from. I thought he was just
just
leaving
his
Endgame. I
yeah.
didn't think.
I mean, I don't know. He was there, and according to everyone I talked to, he's just trying to pass the torch to the new TO so that he can safely just be like, "I'm done." Um, and I was in a PB with him the other day. Like it was just a fun PB. His main account's like level 42. I was like, wait, what the
I
heck?
know.
He doesn't play.
He made a document. I'm reading it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at that too. Is he still going to commentate? I hope he continues to do that because I mean, I he's one of the two or three best commentators we have. I think.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, it's consistent TOs, consistent I don't know, just like organized stuff. Like when I say organization, the whole thing is like organized. It's organized and not like I'm just gonna say a lot of things have just been a mess,
He
and the things
said
that go ahead.
he said that he has the most fun in my involvement with events as a commentator. So it sounds like he's gonna
Yeah.
keep doing that. See, I anticipate
Okay.
that I'll be hopping on the mic from time to time. Yeah, sounds like he'll still commentate.
Okay.
No.
I mean, speaking of commentators, I think another thing that would really help us out as a community is if we had like a better way to develop and bring along these new commentators, because I feel like we've kind of had the same commentators for the last 2 or 3 years. I just I think it'd be cool if we had like I'm not sure exactly how this would work. I mean, I'm not a TO, I'm not an expert on this, but I just think if we had some sort of system or way to train these commentators to be more comfortable in these high leverage situations. Because I mean, a lot of people complain about how like the commentators are they don't know what they're talking about or whatever in these tournaments. Like, and you look at the tournament and it's like a random SOS or whatever, and it's like, well, yeah, of course they don't. Like, of course they're not going to be great because they haven't received the training they need. Like, you can't expect these people to go out there without any practice or experience and just get it right the first time. Like, there needs to be a way to get these commentators ready and comfortable, I think, more quickly.
Yeah, I'm but the thing with that is let's just be honest. Yes, everyone's passionate about the game, but like when there's money as a driving force, it's different, right? And that's the thing
Yeah,
with organizations. They'll dump money into this stuff and receive a return profit eventually when it grows. And like it's just hard. Everything's gonna have a much looser, more volunteer, more whatever feeling, and not to every person. I'm not saying every person. Obviously, there's people and communities that are much more serious, but there's gonna be a overall feel of more, lack, um, when the money's not there. And I feel like I don't know, like I don't want to say money is the solution, but if organizations bring it in, I feel like you're gonna see a
TOs in the
different
past said that money is the solution. It's just
yeah.
that the players are the problem. They don't want to pay money. I was just wondering, do Smash tournaments usually pay?
yes,
Yes.
they do. They're like all,
Why
I
don't
think
Some of
they
pretty
them
much
do?
are
all of
some
them
of
are
them are
pay to play.
pay to get in, yeah.
Even the random like local I did at my college, I had to pay to get into
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought
in
so. If the
Smash.
thing is, Smash is almost all land because online sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
that's
that's true.
maybe that's why people are like, "Well, it's online, so I shouldn't have to pay." That doesn't make sense. Though. It's
I don't think that's the reason. I think they just don't see the value.
I'm trying to think of like a game I can make an analogy to, but I don't know. Like Overwatch is too high. I don't know the word, but they're too up there for me to compare to that.
Well, that
Um,
happened because Blizzard fostered it,
oh
and
yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying I can't
now
make a
contenders
comparison.
existed before, Blizzard was like Overwatch League, right? But so Owl, like, they never really intended. They kind of just were like half in, half out, kind of like Nintendo is in a lot of things. And then when it took off, they're like, all right, we'll capitalize. So you can say what you want, but at the end of the day, it blew up when Blizzard was like, okay, we'll foster this.
Yeah, I'm trying to find like a comparison to understand where this mindset derives from. Like, why do people expect not to pay for tournaments?
I mean, I think part of it is just the fact that the community is pretty
Kelvin.
young. I think that's has something to do with it.
Yeah,
Like,
like it would alienate a lot of people, and up until a couple of years ago for me, like the early stages of Splatoon 2's meta and tournaments I played, I would have been barred due to what am I gonna do? Ask my dad for money? Like, yo, can I like pay to play this video game? He usually yell at me in Arabic and just be like, you can play for free. You don't have to pay. Uh,
I feel like a lot of younger players are in that same
Yeah,
situation.
maybe that's why. I think what should probably happen is like I almost want to say that people that aren't at the level where they expect to win probably don't expect to pay. Because I remember that being a thing with pay to split. Like they were like, why would I pay? Because I'm probably not gonna get money.
um,
Yeah, that's the other
it's
big
such a
thing.
bad mindset. Because
Well, because if I mean, to be in all fairness though, like a lot of these tournaments, I think, I mean, like, why wouldn't you just like if you're like, what upside is there to playing in this tournament, to paying to play in this tournament that you're not going to win when you can just scrim a team your own level? Like, is there really any benefit to that unless they provide some sort of other benefit? Like,
the benefit
and
should
I'm
be
not sure what that benefit is.
that
So
something
the
like pay to
only thing,
splat comes around every, it's not a weekly thing or a bi-weekly thing. It shouldn't be that often. And then it's a big
Should,
deal, and more tournaments are like that. And so getting a top 32 placement, even if you don't finish, right, should be something like low ink is a big deal when it happens, right? Something like Ludi, I know
okay,
recently
so
no one cared
I was
about
gonna
Ludi.
lead onto this. So
Yeah.
what we probably should have is all we should have like an org that's like you can make your own tournament, but it has to be paid, and you pay like a due into it, and
Hmm.
that org compiles all the results from every single tournament that it's part of it, and puts them into like a ranking system. Q kind of had this
yeah.
idea. This is what
Yeah.
That's what it should be.
Well, it's what
Then you have a
esports do have.
benefit to playing and paying.
No, I mean, I like that idea a lot because another thing that I really don't like about this game is like the rankings. I feel like it's the way we rank teams and players is so it's like the Wild West. So if we had a system like that, I mean, it is. Like,
But like low level's a lot better at it. Like high level, like mid to high level kind of sucks, but like mid to low level is
yeah.
way better.
Yeah, low ink.
And I think, and I mean, I know we already touched on the whole team thing earlier, but I think part of that problem is the fact that there's not as many like dedicated teams in high to mid level. There's more of a pickup culture there. Low level teams stick together
I think
more often.
this idea I had, dude, I just pulled this out of nowhere. But this idea I had probably would help people want to be on a team because then you have your name there. Like,
Right.
that's
That's
my
what I'm
Yep,
team,
saying.
you know?
exactly.
Wow.
That's why teams are better is recognition and a movement in the community, and eventually we hope to move to a league where Ludi isn't, Ludi steps up and can be like a owl, right? Where it's a league where people who win will make money and it'll be a big deal, and even if you're two divisions down, it matters when you win, right? And like
Well, and I think teams are great for recognition too, because if you're a fan of a player, then it's like, okay, I'm just gonna watch this guy's YouTube and his Twitch. But if you're a fan of a team, then it's like that's four or five, maybe six players, and you're like following all of those
yeah,
players
teams are how communities
consistently.
grow, and like
So
yeah,
you get so much more recognition that way, because if you find someone and you realize, oh, they're part of this team, you're like, okay, well, I like watching this team play. Who are some of these other players that are on this team?
Oh
As
yeah.
opposed to a pickup where it's like, well, this
Well,
guy's not
here's
playing
the
with the
thing
same
about
people every
pickups.
time.
There's a lot of problems with how we do pickups. First of all, pickups have some weird name every single time. It's funny and all, but
Yeah, I hate
you
that too.
you never have any consistency there. Everybody changes their name a lot of the time for pickups. I don't know why,
Yep.
but that's also another
And
thing that happens.
that 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 is like I hate that so much because if you're a top player, like wouldn't you want people to know that you're like
I guess
Not
winning this
a
tournament?
lot of
well,
it
let's
isn't as
say
innocent
Kyo.
as you think. Like a lot of it is you're like, oh, they're just having fun playing funny games. A lot of people have ulterior motives when and have reasons that aren't the best to try to be anonymous when it goes into pickups and goes into tournaments, and that's more of a people
I
problem,
mean,
if I'm gonna be honest.
we've seen I mean last year with the Nintendo tournaments, we saw all kinds of that stuff.
Oh yeah, so
Oh,
many players.
I missed we got 17th place in the last NA Open, and one of the teams that was in it got like in top 16 got disqualified because they like were ulting like a player who shouldn't have been able to play. I was like, oh, okay. I guess I missed because of that.
Oh, yeah, that sucks.
Like, sometimes
I mean,
these alts are for bad reasons, and it's kind of more indicative of the community
I
itself.
was
But
thinking more of like, let's say, I don't think Kyo does this too much, but let's say Kyo changes his name. He doesn't. It doesn't matter too much because anybody that knows him knows it's him. Because he's
right.
high up there. So him having the same name every
yeah.
time doesn't matter.
Yeah, but no,
I
but
could
if a
kind of see that.
casual or not a casual, but if like a low level or like
Yeah,
someone
like
new
if
to the community is seeing this, they're like, "Oh, who's butt
they're not
sniffer
gonna know who Kyo
84? Like,
is.
what is that?"
Yeah, exactly. Because you have to think, yeah, like you can't just think about it from like obviously you and I are gonna know exactly who that is, but if we want to like for me the key is like we always talk about money. If we really want money, the only way we're gonna do that is if we get more viewers,
Mm.
more people to care about the game, more people to want to watch the game. And if we're making it harder for these people to follow certain players, it's gonna make them less likely to want to stick around. So I think it's not so much about like us, like the comp players. It's more so about the people that are going to show up to watch the streams, the majority of whom are not competitive players.
I really like my idea. I think it'd be cool to just have a central org that they don't
Yeah.
have to. They run in tournaments too, but you can also be
So
like, hey, I'm running a tournament and it's part of this org, and their ranking is part of the is put into the org's ranking, but you have
yeah,
to
like
pay
they
to
could
it.
have yeah, that I mean you could have like a list of, like accredited tournaments or whatever.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
can pay to be in this list of
So like
official
part of
tournaments.
the requirements for being part of the org's tournaments is that it has to be paid, or like you have to pay a due. So like let's say they wanted like a tournament wants to be free, well they still have to pay money, because running that would be expensive. I think the biggest
Which
problem,
also
which is why it hasn't happened yet, is because of money. You have to run the server for it. You have to hire programmers, everything like that. And well, David and I are working SDL, and we already know how hard it is to work on it because we aren't getting paid.
Right.
So
Like every
I
time
mean
it
I think
works,
the
it's
only
like,
I'd
way
here
love
we
to
go.
dedicate all my time to it, but I can't.
that that's going to work, there has to be an org that's like self-sustaining, like profitable on its own to be able
Yeah,
to
like what Unite
do that.
has, where like the organizations that already have programmers hired because they're an organization, they have money, right? They've had the money for a while. They've been in esports before. Comes in and obviously he's gonna hire people from Splatoon, but
That won't happen though.
I just don't know why. Actually, I know why. It's because Pokemon, despite releasing this garbage, like from a third party team that like did not put their full effort in it because the game sucks, and this garbage product put money into it themselves and supported
Yeah.
it themselves, and so
Also Pokemon.
organizations hop on, right? And it's organizations gonna hop on because of this, and like know that eventually there can be a return from it. There can be a return from Splatoon if Nintendo helped.
Mm,
Yep. They
I
just
think if somebody were to make that org, maybe, and like there would have to be loss in the beginning from you making it all yourself, but I think eventually you can get something out of it because I think it'd be what's the word? People would want it,
Right.
because having a
Yeah,
centralized thing where like it has a good algorithm for ranking. Um, like I said, Q had an idea like this, but it didn't get fully fleshed out. His idea was to have a ranking system that took all tournaments, every single one, and I think we were gonna automatically pull it from Splatnet or something,
Mhm.
and
that yeah.
rank
Huh.
every tournament. But that's like impossible. There's no way that would ever happen. That's a lot. That's too much manual work.
I mean, I think the only way, I mean, because wouldn't you need like a player from both teams to send you their
No.
information, or is there a way you can do that without
Oh, the Q's idea or my idea? My
your
idea
idea?
would be a website where it'd be like Smash.gg, but it's like only Splatoon tournaments. And if you host a tournament, you pay money to host the tournament on that site, and it would have a ranking like a it would have the same UI basically as Smash GG, and you'd put everything into there, and it'd get sent to the databases, it'll get processed, and then it'd be put in the main ranking leaderboard. And there'd be a lot of very strict rules, like you would have to have the same name every time. You can't alt, so no nicknames. Teams have to be the same. So if your team disbands, you'd have to figure something out for that. It'd be really complicated. It'd be very professional. That's what it would need to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love something like that.
Also,
I
one
mean,
one issue with our teams versus other leagues' teams is a team has to be sponsored by an organization and led by an organization and then become affiliated with the main league. Um, so there's an organization that runs the league. That's what it would be called, what your idea is, a league. And then the league would hire other organizations that have teams. So an organization would have to pick up a team of, 4 or 5 players, 6 players probably, and then appeal to the league and be like, we want to be in your league. This is our team. Um,
yeah,
and then
So like a
so
TO team, you're saying, right?
right, so it wouldn't like the problem with our community is 4 people get together, call it a project, and then start playing, right?
there's it's very the lines between a team and a pickup are kind of blurred sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, but there'd be algorithms for that too. You probably get less points for not playing with your team, for example.
Mhm.
Um, and if you're playing a lot of pickups, you wouldn't get ranked very well. So it'd be incentivized being on a team. I think it would lead itself to make you want to be on a team.
Yeah.
You guys want to talk about the trailer?
Sure.
So I think the first thing we'll start with are the new like movement mechanics.
Okay.
And so um like I don't know how much you've seen, and I'm gonna be having like the trailers just playing like on my screen, but like what do you guys think of the new mechanics, especially in the third trailer? Because we got to see them like highlighted in real combat.
Talking about roles.
Like yeah, the squid roll, the squid jump.
Well, we didn't see that one. We haven't seen that one since
We
the
didn't
trailer.
see this. So the squid jump, I'm not
That was the
sure.
first trailer.
Yeah.
I feel like the squid jump is like, I don't really know what the deal is with that because we haven't seen that since the first trailer,
I
which
wonder if
was
they're
more
having
than a
issue
year
with
ago.
it. Maybe that's why they're not showing
That's
it.
what I was wondering because I haven't seen a single instance of it since the first trailer.
Well, so I don't think we know it has invincibility. We've seen it multiple times, both in Salmon Run and in Turf War now. So I feel like, and it seems like you can roll twice. I doubt this is just a Salmon Run thing. I don't know if you can do it more than two, but it seems like you can do twice successfully, like kind of like dualies.
I'm
Um,
guessing it has some sort of like cost to your ink tank too.
I bet I doubt it has a cost. If I were to design it, I'd probably make it a cooldown. You could do it twice, and then you can't do it for a little bit.
But there
I guess that makes
there
sense
should be a visual indicator though of the cooldown, I feel.
Yeah, well, we don't know if there is one because all we saw was spectator mode.
That's a good point.
because the issue that you'll run into is if you're like, because if you're in a 1v1 and you see someone that's performing it, then obviously like the smart thing to do is instead you're not going to want to just stand there and shoot into their iframes. Like you're gonna want to reposition yourself and then come back out and start shooting when they're able to be hit again.
I wonder when the iframes
So
end, because you could track them if it ends right when you land. That would suck though. I
you
hope it's not
definitely
like that.
you can. I just hope that there's like a win. I just hope it's not like the iframes end
Yeah, you
right
landed the ink.
before.
Yeah, that would suck. It would be so bad. You'd roll and just die every time. It'd be like splashdown.
Especially if you're like a slow firing weapon, because then it's like, okay, now like what if my shot, like the timing of my shots is like off? Like if I'm playing 96 and I shoot, you know, like what is it? How often does 96 shoot? Like twice in a second or something? Two or three times a second?
Maybe.
So if you miss wrong on the iframes, then you're like stuck there for a third of a second because your shot timing was off and you shot into the iframe the frame
Or the
before it
RNG
ended.
missed.
Exactly. So then it's like you get screwed because there's no window in between the iframes ending and when the roller can shoot.
Anything with bombs would probably do really well against it too. You just throw a bomb before they're rolling too. I don't know if you could do anything against that.
Well, you would, and then especially if they roll twice, because then you know they can't pull off another one. Because
Yeah,
if
you just
you
throw a
if they
bomb and
single
they're dead.
roll, if they single roll, then it's like okay, they can do another one. But
Yeah.
or even better, you could
It's
throw
like
if
dualies,
you see a
because if you
single
commit
roll,
with the second roll on a dualies and then
you're
somebody
you're
throws a
stuck
bomb, you're
there.
dead.
Yeah, I mean, like if you see someone do a single roll, you throw a bomb at the ground where they're rolling to, and you
Yeah.
know they have to roll a different direction in order to avoid it. So then you just track wherever they're going to go after that.
Yeah.
So I definitely think there's like some cool counterplay you can do with it, but
What do you think about rolling, canceling, and lag? Do you think it should?
um, what kind of and like you're talking about like kind of like
Like
substrafing or
blaster, like
oh I see. So like main weapon and
yeah.
like I don't think it should just because I don't know.
I think
I guess it.
if you're playing a
Uh,
blaster, let's say, and you shoot and then have end lag, and then to get away from somebody, you use a roll, they can still get you. Like, it's an escape option that isn't guaranteed. So I don't think it's unbalanced. I think blaster would need something like that because the end lag is awful in those weapons.
I guess so. I mean, I suppose it makes sense. Like when I think about like a dynamo roller, I think
What if you could cancel
it.
flicks?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because like if you're a dynamo and you get a bomb thrown at your foot, like you're
That'd be
done.
cool.
So if you have a way to get out of that, I think that would be fair. Like I would be okay with that. Because I mean that's
What do you think, David?
I mean, I feel like it has potential. So I'm looking from a technical standpoint of like how I'd make this. It has potential to be very buggy with like um first off resetting RNG. Should it or should it not?
Oh yeah,
Um
I didn't even think of that.
yeah,
and
that's a good
then you
point too.
remember like the stuff that was happening with dabble rolls? Uh
Oh yeah, the glitch.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
certain bugs where you just go way farther than you're meant to. As well as blasters, like you're talking about end lag, like how fast can I come out and shoot? Because or like with rollers, because you can come out of your ink and shoot instantly. Um, should it be like that? Should it cancel the like after shooting those weapons? I mean, it would make those like viable again because one of the things is shooters just move faster than them and can substrafe or shot strafe or just move faster. And I
Are
don't
you
know.
saying that like a blaster shoots, let's say, squid rolls the cancel and lag, and shoots again, and it lets them do that? You say that that
Right.
shouldn't be a thing? Yeah, I
I
could
don't
see that.
know. Should it or should it not? Like, would you be able to shoot faster? You might. Like that might
I mean, I
be
think
That
it's.
could
faster
be a
shooting.
stack. I don't know if I mind that either.
I don't
Yeah.
think it would be unbalanced because if you're playing, the shooter can literally just time a roll when you shoot. So then
Oh,
it's
yeah,
not like it's
I forgot
guaranteed or
about the other
anything.
person can also roll. So
Right.
you- I hope that's a thing because I thought I was talking this to somebody else. It sounds cool to be able to cancel stuff like that.
Yeah. The actual like skill.
I think it'll also another thing. I think it'll also help like prevent certain like mid-range weapons from just being able to just wall people out. Because I think if you have more movement options, shorter range weapons will have more ways to be able to approach.
I wonder if the iframes work on specials. Oh, it worked on the killer whales and
I
on
think it will.
Ray
I
and
mean, I don't see
Spawn.
why it wouldn't.
Well, imagine rolling out of the ink vac
A tri-strike
explosion or
or
that
the
too.
because like if you look at the tri-strike, the duration on that is not nearly as long as the Booyah Bomb was. So I mean, you could like depending on how much damage it does per second. I mean, if you're in one of those, you might be able to just roll out of it and just
That'd be cool.
not die. I mean, another thing. So what's your guys' take on like the whole vacuum thing? Because a lot of people have been saying um, the counterplay is to just not shoot at it, but I feel like I mean, that's kind of you're still pretty much dictating exactly what the enemy team is allowed to do. So, I mean, do you guys think that
I
that
would
special
say maybe
is
you wouldn't shoot.
balanced?
You would shoot at it, but you maybe would shoot somewhere else and plan ahead. You know, maybe
Oh,
try to get
it's
behind.
Yeah,
Have one player try to get behind it because I think if you go behind it, you'll probably kill him.
yeah. I don't think it won't suck them if you're behind it.
So
I'm
what you'd
pretty
probably do if
positive
you
about
see
that.
somebody pop it is probably call out for one of your teammates to go around it and try to kill it, and maybe like the rest of your team focuses on something else or like distracts
And
it or something. You know,
it also looks like, from what we've seen, it looks like when it fills up, it automatically shoots. So I'm wondering if that could also be a strategy. Like if you want it to shoot early, then you just spam DPS into it and get it to fire as quickly as possible.
I do think his dumb charger has it. I don't think that helps charger. I
thing.
don't know.
I see it as a counter to burst and like because there's in this game burst damage, but also burst paint. So
Yeah.
so many times I'm playing splat zones, right? Oh, the other team popped four specials. They got the zone. There's no oh, okay, cool, right? They popped two bomb rushes or booyah bomb missiles, bomb rush. Right? They just did everything, right? They all hit buttons, right?
Yep.
I
It's
think
like they
having
yeah,
a counter to that, and then people saying it's like overpowered or underpowered. I look at it as like in Overwatch, there's a lot of tanks have stuff like Sigma's shift, where he absorbs damage from one angle and it gives him shield, or Zarya's bubble, where she absorbs stuff from like all angles and it gives her more damage. And like they're very balanced because yes, a good player isn't gonna just feed you by shooting you, right? I'm not gonna just give
you're
the
preventing
vacuum.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you're
right.
preventing them from getting that no committal cap.
I also think I bet it also cancels the ink strike, the nuke things, the little I don't know bombs. I
The
bet it
tri
clips them up
strikes.
Yeah.
because that would help a lot on zones. Somebody throws that on zone, you just suck it up and boom, done.
It's counterplay, and one thing it forces certain things. Like if I have that, you're not allowed to just spam everything, or if you do spam it, you're feeding me. Or
Exactly.
like you can't help it if you just threw a bunch of bombs in the air, or you're throwing your ink strike, and I react fast enough that like oh you just can't help it, or it's like area denial, or just like it has play to it the same way that those things are balanced in other games. um there's a lot of mind games, there's a lot more thinking that has to go into it. And like even Splatoon 1, there wasn't much thinking that had to go into your specials. You could just pop Kraken and you're like, cool, I'm vibing, right? uh
Pretty much.
Bubbler,
What?
like I am now invincible, Ligma balls, feels like this game, all the specials, everyone either says, oh, it's overpowered or underpowered. I think it has a lot more of a skill cap, a skill ceiling, and a lot more thought that goes into their specials.
Yeah, that's something that I've really liked so far with what they've done. It's most of the specials outside of like Big Bubbler, pretty much all the
Mhm.
specials require some form of user input, which I think is a really nice change because when you're like a lot of specials in Splatoon 2 are just kind of like
And,
they don't really take a whole lot of I mean, yeah, they don't take a whole lot of player input or like mechanical skill
Having a brain.
or having a brain, having more than one brain. So like missiles, bomb rush,
Dude,
even stingray. Like you don't have to have skill to stingray a tower. Like
okay, I was gonna thought you were just gonna say anything. Yeah, tower doesn't. That one's easy, but Stinging a random person across the map is not easy. The last person that said it was,
It
then
takes a lot of skill.
remember that when
Who said that?
God, their name's
Oh no,
escaping me.
Stingray. Stingray is really hard to use as like a killing special. Like I have mad respect for people who can actually use that, like and get triples consistently. Like that is super hard.
Nobody gets triples consistently anymore. They used to,
Well,
but not anymore.
they used to, and it was crazy.
Doubles maybe, but not triples. Depends on the map, I guess. On part, we might get a triple every
I mean, I don't know.
raid.
Like when I used to play with Drac, he would do some ridiculous things with Stingray.
Um, quote. Yeah, remember that when he was like, "Oh yeah, Stingray is easy," and he 1v1 me Stingray.
I remember. Yeah, he was just he.
I was gonna
That's
say,
why he kept like insisting on playing V Charger because he was like, oh, he just. I've never seen someone just
Sting.
spam that many Stingrays and actually make it work.
I was gonna.
um,
I wanted to ask about like so in Splatoon 2, like during the trailers, some weapons they like completely changed and they had nothing to do with what they were in the trailers. But some of them like actually stayed. What do you think of
Yep.
like the things we've seen in the trailer?
Bo doesn't stay like it is. I
Okay.
There's
think
no
they do
way.
something
It
to it.
looks. They've got to. I mean, it looks terrible.
What did
It
Bo
looks
have?
really bad.
Did we see its kit?
It
um.
has toxic mist,
Yeah, it
Uh
has like the whatever the new like
and
version
then
of Mist
whale.
or whatever.
It has toxic mist whale. Whale is fine,
And
but toxic mist,
the main
why?
well the main weapon just looks so bad.
Yeah.
is there a Splat 1 L3 kit? That's weird.
Like if you look at the trailer, there was like at one point I was like, "Ooh, what's this new sticky bomb?" And then eventually I realized, "Wait, that's the bow's main weapon." Like what?
And like
That's
you
its
saw
main
somebody
weapon?
standing on top of it. The charger on the other team was standing on
And
top of it, and they
and
took
they
like
still get out of it.
they didn't take any damage. It took like 3 shots landed indirects on by them, and they exploded and they didn't die.
They didn't. Yeah, they just swam away. They didn't even move right away. Like pretty sure they stood there for like half a second and
Yeah,
still got away.
it was really bad looking. It's like if they took bamboo and explosher and put them together, but had none of the good things from either weapon.
It was like an explosher that shoots suction bombs, basically.
Yeah, but the suction bombs are chickens that do no damage. They're burst bombs. Burst bomb indirect.
Exactly.
Do you think the kits for some of the weapons change? I think
I
52
think
has
so.
that wall and it's never leaving.
Yeah, fortunately.
I mean, I definitely think there will be some changes. I don't think. I mean, I think Chargers kit will probably be the same, just because I think
It's so
the
bad.
vacuum.
I don't know. I
You
don't.
know,
It's weird. Maybe
I mean,
if you took it as like, oh, when we need this, the charger uses it, but I don't know.
it depends on how close you have to be to use it. I guess. I don't know.
But I just see it being a thing like baller K charger, where you use it, and then when it runs out, you're just standing there, and what are you gonna do now?
Or like custom Explo.
Yeah, custom expo has uses for his baller.
I mean, but you're still pretty much dead if you get stuck next to a shooter when you run out of it. I mean, like you can pretty much just like a baller if you know how to time it, you can pretty much just kill someone no matter what out of it.
Yeah,
Like I'm pretty sure there's a window where you can literally throw a bomb at it and there's nothing they can even do about it. Like they're just dead once they come out of it, out of their iframes.
Yeah. But another thing is the bow player like that I'm watching just isn't like in the trailer they're just bad. So maybe bow's like better than we think.
Maybe
maybe I don't
'Cause,
know.
like I
the
did I
person
did just watch them shoot something that made an invincible noise because it's from the bubbler. Look at it and then just
yeah.
shoot it again.
I also saw the splatter shot get a double with Inkzuka, then proceed to run
Into
headfirst
the
into a
charger.
charger with a big
Yeah.
bubbler right in front of it.
It might be
Just
advanced
stand there
AI.
in
I'm
front
not
of the
sure.
charger. Just stand there in front of the big bubbler shooting at it while the charger is looking right at him.
Dude, that guy yeets that like ink strike across the map. What the heck?
I know.
He throws it way farther than a bomb.
It's like probably
I
like
mean, I
bomb
think
rush where you hold it and it goes further. Because
probably.
I think Bomb Rush, when you just tap it, has normal bomb throws, but if you hold it, it goes farther than normal. It has to, yeah,
Yeah,
it
no,
has to.
if you hold it down, if you hold bomb rush down, it's like a max sub power up bomb throw. That's what it is.
I was gonna say it has to because it throws farther than Charger shoots, and it's really hard to do that with Splat Bomb, even with sub power up.
Yeah, it's a max sub power up throw for bomb rush. So maybe they have something similar for the try ink strike. Because I mean, I think it'll be kind of similar to bomb rush, like where you can either get the quick shots off to cap the zone immediately, or if you have extra time, you can throw it from a safer distance away from you, which I think is cool because I mean it's like it'll be like a zone capping special, but I think it'll take a lot more user input. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. It's not as like one dimensional, I don't think,
I hope that
as like
replaced both Bomb Rush and missiles. I hope so. Because I don't want to see Bomb Rush back,
yeah.
and I don't want to see missiles back. Bomb Rush is super
I mean, I
boring,
It's
and
weird I
missiles are.
haven't seen Bomb Rush, but I feel like that's a staple. Like I never would think, no matter how unbalanced it is, they'd ever remove it. But we haven't seen it yet.
I mean, I don't even think Bombers is that unbalanced. I just
I think
think
it's
that we need more
boring.
counterplay. Yeah, it's just I mean, it's boring. You just spam it at the zone, and it's like I feel like if we have the vacuum special, then we'd have that's some stronger counterplay for it. I feel like,
Oh, yeah, you're right.
or if the try, or if the ink strikes destroy them like the Booyah bombs do in Splatoon 2. That's another thing. I'm pretty certain Booyah bomb's not coming back, which thank God, because for some reason that was a panic button, even after all the nerfs.
Yeah, I can't wait for K52 and Splatoon 3.
I mean, it's not gonna be,
What if
but it's not gonna
MPTO
have.
got wall bubbler?
I
Yeah,
swear, oh my God.
they'll
It
have two
didn't,
gals with the
but
wall.
What if they give the tent wall big bubbler?
it'd be
It
funny.
just
I don't care
wouldn't.
about that actually.
I don't know. We haven't seen 10, right? Yeah, we haven't.
Well, they showed undercover, so umbrellas are confirmed back. I'm like pretty
Yeah, they
sure.
showed it on the cover. They keep showing the best weapons. Here, I'm gonna pull up the list again.
They pulled up Dynamo. They got
Oh boy,
Clash
Dynamo.
Blaster is back,
yeah.
I
Yeah,
think,
woohoo.
right?
Clash Blaster. Probably is the crab tank. I'm unironically gonna use that to climb to X rank.
Oh
Um,
my gosh. I mean,
it looks like a lot of the things we see are like the Splatoon 1 kit. Like the Splash Shot has Inksuka and Suction Bomb, right? The Pro
yeah.
has like Point Sensor. And I guess Crab Tank isn't like anything it had. They have Bomb Rush and Inksuka and
Crab, I think
Ink
would be
Strike.
closest to Inkjet.
Yeah. But like Inkjet was
Probably.
meant to be Inkzuka's replacement, which is weird.
I mean, they're both kind of like, I don't know. They're both very
Crab's a mobile.
similar.
It reminds me a lot of Inkjet. It like you push in with it.
I mean, Inkzuka is literally just Splat 1 Inkzuka. It's just like
Just
fires less
different, yeah.
shots and it's more powerful.
Probably less buggy now that it's not like the hitbox isn't just a literal rectangle.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the Zipcaster? Because I've heard people saying that it doesn't look particularly good. Do you guys agree with that?
Like, it
I
just
think it
looks like
depends
you
what
need to
weapon
have
as well.
skill. Like the brush, like we watched the brush do it twice. The brush got behind the charger and then killed the charger, and then the brush got behind someone else. That someone else looked at the brush funny and then looked away and then died. Like, oh, okay. And so it doesn't look
Well,
that
I
good.
mean,
But then, and then the brush just goes nowhere. And so it's like, it seems like a skill thing. Like, are you actually gonna dive in a somewhat in a vulnerable position? Are you gonna use it to deny high ground? Are you actually gonna use it well, or like you just miss and just get shot?
well, my question is like, couldn't you just use that to get into places that you probably shouldn't be able to get into? Like, what's stopping you from just
It has
going into someone's
Inkjet
spawn on
impact.
splat zones?
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because like you can like,
Well,
because I mean, yeah, there's a jump
Yeah, but
back,
I mean
but
that
why
happen
can't
that
you
can
just like,
happen with inkjet. You can just fly can
Yeah.
touch their spawn barrier in on maps like Skipper where you're
I
not
mean,
meant to, and
To
like
be
that's
fair, when
I
cool.
you
guess
jump
that's
out of
true.
spawn in 3, you get armor, which makes it way harder to spawn camp.
That's true. I mean, I guess like, but the thing is like you have access to your main weapon though. You're not locked into an inkjet, and you're in their spawn. That's what I mean.
It looks like though when you use ink, it makes it go down faster. And also when you use the zippy thingy, it makes it go down faster too. So if you're shooting, anytime you use any ink, it goes down faster.
So it's not a timer. It's based on how much ink
No,
you,
it
or
is a
like the
timer
timer
too.
ticks
It's
faster.
both.
It just ticks faster.
Yeah.
Okay.
But let's
I
say
mean,
like
I feel like
I hope not. But let's say like a charger got it. If you shoot like once with it, it's probably almost gone.
probably.
Imagine Expo gets it and like you like half shot and it's like you're done.
Yeah. Or like a range blaster,
Dynamo tries to flick and the game's like, no, no, no.
and then you're just out of ink.
Yeah.
I personally don't think it's gonna be very good, just because I feel like at lower
You
levels
could
it
at
might
least
work,
flash
just
down.
because.
What do
But
you think
yeah,
about
I think it's a good comparison.
what do
I
you think
think
about the
because if
curling
you're,
bomb coming back?
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's whatever.
I feel like I like Crown Bomb out of all the bombs. I feel like Seeker is what it replaced, and then Seeker is just
Yeah, it
annoying
is.
because it was like imagine your auto bomb was a Crown Bomb.
Sounds
I
awful.
know.
Mhm. I think Crown Bomb is
I mean,
fun. I do want to see new sub weapons, and we also haven't seen fizzy bombs. I don't know how to feel about that.
I don't love fizzy bombs. I have to be honest.
I don't know. I just like creativity, and so like yeah, they went out in balance, but at least it was fun and creative. And I want more stuff like that. I want more.
Yeah, you want torpedo back, right?
Torpedo.
Maybe not that one. Like again, it's
Torpedo,
creative, but
bruh.
like I don't
It's
know. It's not
awful.
being
It's
creative.
annoying.
It stopped being creative when the K Junior was just AFK.
I would literally go into top 500 spot zones lobbies, and there'd be like a K junior on the other team, and it was like it's literally just how do you win the game? Oh, just look at the top of your screen. Does he have bubbles or not? If does he have bubbles? Okay, just sit there and wait for him to waste them. If he doesn't, hold forward and kill him because he doesn't know how to use his main weapon.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
I want. I want to see like a new sub weapon that's like genuinely creative and doesn't power creep and is just better than everything else. I don't know what I want to see though.
I mean, I think what would be cool is if they had like a homing special like torpedo, except instead of locking onto one position, it continued to like it would continue to curve and follow you for a little bit after it locks onto you, instead of just like locking on once and then traveling to that spot and not following you at all after that point.
Like I don't know. I feel like that'd just be more annoying.
I mean, but torpedo kind of terrible in the first game, or not the first game, in Splatoon 2. So it would at least make it more like viable as a special. Because I mean, I like the concept of the homing sub. It's just I feel like it's kind of hard to get right. Or something that I think would be really cool is like, and this is what I thought the crab tank was going to be when they first showed it, like some sort of like turret or like second, like you deploy like a little turret or something, and then kind of like sprinkler, except it actually targets enemy players.
You think that would be a sub weapon?
Yeah,
Angry sprinkler, it
like a
shoots you.
yeah, like it'd be
Or
sprinkler, but it would actually like
instead of
lock onto
feedback.
you. Like they could just replace sprinkler with that.
We haven't
I
seen
mean,
ink
obviously
lines,
it
right?
wouldn't be like super powerful or anything like that, but
We haven't seen ink lines, right?
I don't think so.
I don't know if I care about Inkman.
I hope they're different. I hope something's different.
Hope you step on him, you instantly die.
This is
Yeah,
a
that's how it
different.
should be. I mean, Because I mean, that's how it is in real life. You summon a mine, you're dead.
Wasn't it like that in Splatoon 1?
Yeah, if you didn't have
Yeah.
Bomb Sniffer, you lose.
Well, it was you could still get indirected by it, but like if you were on top of it, you just blow
It
up
was just a bomb, but
Oh,
hidden.
pretty
Uh,
much. I mean, but
what
but
if
like I feel like
instead it
they.
was like a trap? Like, what if it like slowed you? Like it pops,
But wait, but
it does like
hold
30
on though.
damage and
Like,
it slows you.
what's stopping you from just squid rolling away from it
That's a good
once it
point.
once you see it activate?
I don't know, your
skill issue.
ugliness, yeah, skill issue. I don't know.
I feel like they would need to do something else with it. If they're gonna like if they have the squid rolls in there, they need to do something else with it to make it actually useful.
I just hope that there's more fun sub weapons and not just, oh, okay, it's you got bombs and that's really it, and if you don't, you're ugly.
What if you can throw a sub weapon at your teammate and they get armor? What?
That
Uh-huh.
that would, I mean, or no,
Well,
they could have a sub weapon that like a healing sub weapon. That would be
I
kind
don't
of
know
cool.
about that one.
I think the
I think
game's
it'd be
too
kind of
fast because
dumb.
you only have like 100
Yeah.
HP, so it's like, what am I gonna do? Like, heal you for like, I heal
I
you to
think
full so you live an extra shot?
I think my
That's
idea
true.
might
I
actually
mean,
be cool if it's like you have to hit them. It's not like a you throw it near them and it works.
Right. If you hit someone,
yeah, yeah.
it gives them something. Well, I would like something that would be like a speed boost item. Like if I throw this down, it's like Toxic Mist, except all my teammates
But
in it move faster.
you can swim faster.
Right. Or
That'd be broken on Raymaker.
It
maybe,
would, yeah.
well, Rainmaker already is broken, so that's okay.
That's true. They
Yeah,
just
that's
remove
true.
it.
Or like maybe a
Bish.
damage amplification type of sub weapon that like
Oh, you
I
mean like
Well,
Baptiste
like
Wall?
damage up?
that's his ult. So it's not gonna be a garage door, right? It's just gonna be like maybe like
That would be a cool special in Splatoon though.
a little thing that boosts maybe your ink tank, maybe boosts I don't know your damage, and that's the only way you can do it. Like I don't know. No way, there's no damage up. You could just get rid of that as a as an ability, and it'd just be a sub weapon, so make an actual support role. Um, and you can only give it to one person or something, and somebody doesn't have any more ink because of it.
It'd be cool to have a special. It would have to have a lot. It'd have to be very, very rarely like it would have to be like a 300 paint or something crazy. But like Anna's supercharge thing, you throw at people.
Nano.
Nano boost, yeah, there we go.
I mean, yeah, I would love stuff like that, and like,
It's just the problem of if it's too easy to get, it'd be broken.
right,
But
because
But they're
the issue in other games, like you just mentioned, like ultimates from Overwatch, you get those ultimates from either healing your team or doing damage to the other team. You don't get the ultimate from shooting the floor. You don't
that'd
get
be
the
fun.
ultimate from like just touching the payload or standing on
AFKing.
point.
Yeah,
It
there's so many
objective
ways
doesn't
to
do
get
it.
special charge in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can just like if you stand on tower, your whole team gets it, right? It's not just the rider, or is it just the person riding it?
I think it's the whole team. I could be wrong. I could look it up on
Yeah,
Splat Wiki.
that's what I think it's the whole team,
Yeah.
which is like so you can get special just because someone else on your team
That's why
is AFKing
on TC I used to run Tenacity on
tenacity.
PA.
Yeah,
I
I
still
remember
run
that. Yeah.
tenacity on tower control. If I'm standing on tower and someone dies, I have armor. And like, that's the problem with making good specials is they're just gonna be spammed. But
Oh,
I
you
feel
don't
like they
even
need,
need somebody writing it. If you're in control, you get special charge.
yeah.
Yeah, like you can hop on and off of it. Like if you're just bringing it back to mid, you can literally just like tap it, let go, come back 5 seconds later, and you get special charge the entire way.
Um, I was gonna say, I want like a rework on how you get specials. I'm not gonna lie.
That would
Like,
happen. We
Yeah.
already know it won't. We saw the turf war how it worked.
Well,
that's
so
true.
like it looked like the special costs themselves were pretty comparable to this game. Like the T-Tech got it in 200, the 52 got it in 190,
It
I
was
think.
like 190, 220. It was really, really like the same as Splatoon 2. So
Yeah, I mean
if
it was.
you want to spam something, you
Interesting.
probably can.
I think but I do think the duration on the specials, like across the board, is a lot less. So
Grab's kind
I
of
think that'll
long.
keep
I
things
don't
in
know
check
that
a
the
little bit.
big bubble lasted 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, that bubble lasts a long time.
It lasted 10 seconds.
It
I counted
does,
it, and you
Like I
can't
said,
break
if
it.
a
Believe me,
backline gets
they'll
that,
try.
it'll
but
be so
doesn't it?
broken.
But can't you reduce the duration by shooting at it though?
Maybe.
Can you? I don't know.
We don't know.
The bow shot it twice and it lasted 10 seconds. So
Well, I mean
I
both
don't think.
sucks. So I
Yeah,
mean,
that's true. I don't think we should base it off of that, but
I don't know. So like I don't know. Maybe if like two people shoot it, it'll go down and it'll be broken. But
it would be so funny if people started running OS in splat zones just to break big bubbles that get thrown on top of the zone.
have
yeah,
we seen Auto Shredder? I know we saw Special Power Up. We saw
did
Ink
we?
Recovery.
Ink recovery.
Where?
What was the third one? It's a split
The
second
charger,
for the charger.
the charger killed the splatter shot, and you can see like the main abilities they're running, and they were all Splatoon 2 abilities. It wasn't like anything new,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
They're
it's good.
also all the icons were the same too. Like it still had missiles for
They're
Special
probably
Power Up.
prototype, like just beta.
I'm
yeah,
surprised
I
they
mean,
had that
cause
though. Like they had to expect that'd be seen.
yeah,
That makes me think the game's not even close. Unless this is just really
I mean,
old footage and they were like, whatever, we don't care.
well, I mean, it probably took them like, yeah, I mean, I don't know how many takes it took them to record that,
Also, the ink doesn't look too different. It looks like it's just a cross between Splatoon 2 and 1.
Did you see that when you
pretty
paint
much.
grates, it paints them?
What? Where?
It does.
Yeah.
I'm rewatching the
Does
channel.
it? It's just cosmetic though, right?
Who knows? Like, think about this. A strategy on some maps to start out is to paint the grates because it counts for both underneath and on top.
That's true.
There's no way to
But I
know
don't
that
know.
until we play the game. But yeah, when you paint grates, they actually paints in the color now.
Does it like so?
I have a
Okay.
screenshot of it. Hold on.
I
Here
won't
you
mind.
go.
I wouldn't mind a rework to grades because I've always said that anything in this game that's unpaintable there can't be too much of it. Every map that's had
Yeah.
like Hammerhead, Schellendorf, Albacore, anything that has too many unpaintable surfaces has always been bad.
Well, I think what they should do, they should make it so you can paint the grates. Like you can't swim on the grates, but you can walk at a faster speed
That'd
on
be
grates
cool.
in your own
Yeah,
ink.
it deny grates. I wonder if that's why they did that. Because like on oh, what's that stupid map called? Albacore, people just flank over the bridge, and you
Yeah.
can't slow them
Yeah.
down. Like they don't have to paint or anything; they just walk.
Well, to be fair though, like that's really slow to get across there. I think it would
Yeah.
actually like, I mean, it would make grates more interesting for sure because I feel like grates right now are just, it's literally just like you're kind of screwed if the other team has someone watching it. But if they don't have someone watching it, then I don't know. It's like I think this way it'll
You can
give
at
you
least
more
check the
options to be
map
able to
and see if
defend it.
anyone across the bridge.
Yeah, you can like more easily passively defend it, I think.
Yeah.
And like if you're a flanker, you can set up the flank route so you can go through it quicker. And if you're on defense, you can make the flank harder by painting it up. I don't know. I think it'd be pretty interesting if that's true. I mean, obviously we don't know for sure, but
All
I
we
mean,
know is you can paint
imagine
them. Who knows what it does?
I'd imagine there's a reason why you can paint it. What else do we see? Um,
Oh, I wanted to mention this when you told me that you're gonna do this podcast. Did you see that Splatoon 3 Japan's tweet? Like here. It has 362 likes. We're gonna compare that to the most liked gaming tweets, which is GTA 6, which is 600K. So it's over half of that. And PS5 event is 511K.
You said it's how
Wow,
many
Um,
K?
it got
300K.
362,000 likes. It actually
Jeez,
got more retweets than both of those.
that's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's probably gonna be the most selling game in Japan by far.
Yeah, which is
I
shocking how
mean,
little effort they put into like improving the game.
it would be a worldwide esport if they just put effort into it.
Right,
I mean, it's
It already is in Japan. Japan is like Splatoon is huge as a competitive game.
right.
There's nowhere else that
yeah.
is.
I mean,
It's a
the
phenomenon. Like
Japanese
it
they get
trends so
sponsorships
hard.
from
Yeah, they get
like the Japanese
sponsored.
baseball league sponsors it.
They also
The
have
NPB.
Pixio Monster, which sponsors it.
Mhm.
What else? Those Nike has partnerships with Splatoon. Um, Hello Kitty has. I don't know what else has, but those are the ones I remember the most. Like I think Nike made a Splatoon shoe, if I remember right. Let me look that up.
So something else I wanted to bring up about Splatoon 3. So like at this point, we'd probably want like potentially to have viewer input or somewhere where like we could read questions or comments or something or answer to our question from like viewers in like Discord or like somewhere, right? But for this, I was just gonna pull up things that I saw the community saying from Pro Char's tweet of he was just asking, what does everyone think Splatoon 3 should have? What feature does it need the most? And like this had like over 1,000 likes. And something like if we just wanted to pull that up and go through some of the ones that stuck out to you, for me, I'm seeing casual players asking for better matchmaking, right? Not competitive players, casuals who are like not X rank, saying they want better matchmaking. Um, they say they don't like either being put with like children one game and then the next game getting destroyed by a pro, right? They like, you know, it's everyone and every time I bring up like matchmaking, they're like, oh, it's just because you're a comp player. That's the only reason you're saying that.
I mean, I don't know. I think the matchmaking is. I don't have an issue with. I mean, like for ranked,
I
I would
think for
honestly
everything,
like I think the I'd like to see longer wait times if it means we get like to actually see what our teammates are playing.
Turf War has no matchmaking at all. You get thrown into a lobby, and I've had lobbies where the whole lobby plays charger. It's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
That's Turf War
I mean,
though, so I don't know. It's kind of I don't know. I think we might have a change for that because Japan takes Turf War a lot more seriously. But
Yeah.
also Turf War kind of works different where you all can join the same lobby and it stays
it
together.
doesn't matter what your rank
Right.
is.
Like people can just join each other's turf
Yeah,
lobby.
and it persists. It's not like rank. Well, rank sometimes persists and it's stupid, but that's besides the fact. It,
Well, I also like I think for because you know how like you have to get to a certain rank to play League, and I know like we were like haha B minus you suck, but like I still think you should be able to play some form of League like right out of the box when you get the game, because I think like there's no reason you shouldn't be able to just hop into a game with your friends right when you buy the game.
well, technically, here's how Nintendo will see it. Technically, you can because PBs.
I know, but
Bro.
To be
Um,
fair
that's
though,
something
when the
I
game
know that
comes out, I'm gonna be playing single player and for a bit, and then I'll play multiplayer because it both lets me enjoy the single player and learn the game a bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go roll right off the cliff, and Marie's just gonna look at me like, "Oh, okay, nice job."
Well,
I mean, that's what I did in this game. I spent the first couple of weeks like I played like I mean I played some ranked, but I spent a lot of time in single player when this game first came out.
I played like the first world, got disappointed by the concept art, and then left. And I'm gonna do the same thing in Splatoon 3. I'm gonna try and be like, "Oh, there's gonna be good, environmental art," and there's not, and then I'm gonna cry.
what I think there's good environmental
Yeah,
art.
I mean, I did see the trailer that like showed some of the solo stuff. I'm like, okay, if like the environmental art is just good all the time, then yeah, I'll play.
Like, look at my background right now. Here, I'll take a screenshot. This is
Wow.
my favorite thing from the trailer by far.
Is it the Inkling standing on like the upside, like looking at the
Yeah.
upside down city? Yeah.
There's also the spaceship. Dude, if we go to space in a single player, that'd be the
Why
sickest thing
would
ever.
I
That'd be
mean, it
so
would be
cool.
cool, but why? Why are my Inklings going to space?
Why
Wait,
not?
what if
Oh
that's where
yeah.
humans went? What
No,
if we
I don't
go up
think so.
there and we just see like Elon Musk and all the humans in
No,
space?
my gosh. See Elon Musk up there, Jeff Bezos.
I don't want that. I think I think having humans in the game would be weird. I don't like it.
It would. Well, I don't think it would work with the art style.
Yeah, me neither.
But what if there are humans, but only from like the Nintendo universe? So like Mario, like
Mario?
yeah, like the Mario brothers, like they're in space, and then you meet them, like why y'all up here? And they're like, oh, global warming.
That'd be dumb too.
That would,
What about
yeah.
Of
these?
course, it'd be dumb.
What if there's Mii's up there?
Like all the Mii's
Uh,
that are on your Switch are up there.
yeah, that'd be pretty funny actually.
Oh wow, Adolf Hitler is up here in space.
Oh,
I
oh
have
man, gotta lab
Luigi.
that one out.
It'd be pretty funny. What if there's like a new species of alien Inklings that like
Oh my god, why can't they go to space? The humans went to space. Why is it so weird to you?
Yeah,
because they're Inklings.
they're
And they
still
have science. They
humanoids.
talk about science all the
Oh, wait,
time.
what if they went up there
Aren't
and
they?
they saw like Olimar and Pikmin?
Well, for
Oh
all
my
we
god.
know, like
Pikmin
the
4 revealed.
Pikmin
oh
4
my
in
gosh.
Splatoon.
What are you saying, Latios?
I mean, because like the Inklings in these games are not evolved from they're not evolved from humans. They're evolved from squids,
Yeah,
right?
but they have
So like,
science and stuff. And a lot of their science is based on human things that got left behind. Yeah, I'm the lore monger. If you ever need
but it's
lore, I'm
possible.
here.
It's possible that I mean, because it's possible like if they're evolved from squids and not humans, maybe they never really maybe space exploration isn't really something that they ever
Well, they would for
Wouldn't they
would.
sure
just
be.
die?
Well, may oh, are you saying they wouldn't be able to? Maybe, I guess.
I'm not
Wait, what
saying they
if they
wouldn't
get
be able to. I'm just
compressed
saying that.
in like the shuttle launch?
I mean, I guess that's true because I mean they
Well,
don't have
humans
bones.
don't though. Oh yeah, you're right. But
I
well, that
mean,
means
they
like
do.
it'd be easier for them, right?
No, maybe it would be easier, but humans do
I
get
don't know.
like they have to wear like certain stuff, and the ship has to be in certain conditions so they don't get compressed. But, like it's like certain fish where you pull them out from like deep water and they just come like depressed, like not depressed, compressed
Yeah, they
and
because
depressed.
it's because the pressure is so much higher down there.
Right. So what
They
if
just like deform when they.
what if Inklings just mess up when they go to space? Did we think about that with humans, or did we just go up there and be like, yo, whatever?
We did a lot of math and
I
stuff in
we
physics.
did
Yeah.
If it's just not like
yeah.
monkeys and dogs up there, like bye.
Yeah, we also sent
I I
non-humans up there too.
I can't imagine being like the first because like I mean obviously the hard the scary part about sending someone up to space is like how do you get them back? So like imagine like the first human that ever went into
Did
space
you
and it's like
know?
well
Did you know?
they've never successfully sent a spacecraft back so like
Yeah, you know
Did
this,
you know
Jordan.
for
Go
that
ahead.
mission, for the wow, we're getting way off topic by the way, but the mission to the moon where we sent people on the moon the first time,
Mhm.
there was actually a speech written if they didn't come back. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh
It was
yeah,
actually recorded and everything by whoever was president. Uh,
I love the meme videos where it'll be like the space landing, and they'll edit the moon, or that would be the moon landing, and they'd edit the moon like again in the background.
I know.
Found it. I came up right away.
This is part of the podcast. We're gonna play this. The
Yep.
podcastable. Is that Richard Nixon?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
No,
that's
Richard
who president is.
Milhouse Nixon. My favorite president. Top 5 presidents.
If you just
Uh,
oh wait, hold on.
Uh-huh.
Oh, this is a deep fake, but here's
Top
the
five
actual speech.
That's in deep fake. I don't want to be here anymore. Oh, oh. So Inklings, right?
Huh.
Yeah, Inklings.
Inklings. Do you think there could be a third species they make though? Like Inklings, Octolings.
It'd be salmonoids and it'd be gross, disgusting.
Always.
Salmonoids.
It would have to be.
What if they
That
made another one? What if they made like
yeah, isn't there's gotta be like some other
Yeah,
like
if they did something
ah
else, sure. Just don't do salmonoids. If people want that, they'd be so gross.
what if they're like just like seahorses?
No, would that be gross too?
how would that work? You
It'd be
can't have a
gross.
humanoid seahorse. What the
Seahorses.
heck? At least a squid like has like limbs. That kind of makes sense.
They could have a jellyfish kind of thing. I've seen some fan art for that. Let's see if I
Yeah,
can
but
find
don't
it.
those already exist?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean
No,
they
as an
can't.
inkling, like a
Uh,
different kind
they
of
like
creature.
evolve. Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
somebody makes a lot of
not like
fan art for this.
those like little things that you see
The
in the
jellies.
subway.
Yeah. Little buddies. What do you think the little buddy will do? Is it only going to be single player? You
Um,
think there might be a new mode?
Oh wait, I don't know
I
what
think
this
it'll only
is.
be single player.
I don't know what
I
creature
think it only.
this is, but this is something that people. This is like a fan project that somebody made. Why is it
But I
whenever
think
I
it'd be cool.
paste something, it puts two of them?
Like I don't think the salmon will be a part of like multiplayer, but I think it'd be cool if it still walked around with you like when you're in
Oh,
the
that's
lobby, you're in
so
the
cute.
plaza, and then you can like dress it up and change its color, stuff like that.
Are those like what are they called? Isopods?
I don't know what they
It's
are.
real.
Why is if I
It's real
control V
isopod
anything,
out.
it puts two of them?
Um, have you tried being
This
more
is
skilled?
stupid. Yeah,
Swordfish.
Village, yeah.
It's just a roller, but like cuts you in half.
It's a
I
wall. It's
just
a
I
wall and a roller mixed together.
I just looked up isopod and it's like this gigantic like disgusting centipede looking thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
doubt it's what it is. If I
I didn't
looked,
know isopod
it's
out.
on Reddit. Let me see if I can figure this out. They're called hairlings.
Hairlings.
The idea probably is that originally they were going to be rabbits. I'm so glad they weren't because I wouldn't have played the game. But
Oh yeah,
Yo, what if you could go into battle as Little Judd?
yeah,
cats.
let's go.
Oh, what if they found a
Fried
dog?
chicken Ritz cracker.
What if they found a dog though? Like little Judd has like
Uh-oh.
a little
Little
like
a little
Max.
dog nemesis.
Yeah, like a little Max or like
A little chihuahua.
No,
yeah, a little rat dog.
these are dumb.
What if there's a
I thought me
hamster?
saying fried chicken Ritz cracker was dumb.
Uh-huh. Fried chicken Ritz
Have you
cracker.
seen what he looks like?
No. Oh
He
yeah,
looks
yeah,
like a
yeah,
fried
yeah. I know
chicken
what you're
Ritz
talking
cracker.
about. And then when he loses and he just explodes.
In Splatoon 3, he's like deep fried.
Uh, he has a hairdo, man. There's no groomers for him.
That's probably true. Yeah,
Judd have
because
a home? Is Judd homeless?
I don't
Is
know
he
the lore.
homeless?
I'm looking it up.
I think he's homeless.
I think he probably scientists discovered him, so probably he's protected in some kind of way.
Was he like wasn't like Judd like fossilized or like
He was a
frozen or something?
clone, so there's a. Oh wait, no, he was cryogenically preserved, I think. But then
Yeah, that's what
Judd
I meant.
Jr. was the clone.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, this is Walt Disney's cat, is what Judd is.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Well,
Yeah, I don't really know where you're going with that one, but
he's like he was. You said he was like frozen, so that he can come back as Walt Disney's cat.
oh my gosh, no.
Yeah, but Judd Jr. exists because the owner of Judd thought he would be lonely, so Judd could clone Judd himself and make Judd Jr. A little Judd, whatever.
Uh huh. So
Yeah,
why do you
Splatoon
only have
4 is so whack.
Junior Junior?
So, what do you guys think about Salmon Run? You guys still not gonna play it in the next game?
I'm throwing clams off the or not clams. I'm throwing eggs off the water, and you
Yeah, you
can't stop
can
me.
do that now.
I'm just yeeting them off the cliff.
How to get banned.
How to get reported?
You actually get more report. Like if you throw a power clam in the water, you might like.
Dude,
And they'll be
can you imagine?
unlucky. He was
Not
trying
people are
Can
to.
just
you
like not
imagine?
again, but in Salmon Run
No, no,
people
no.
take it
Can you
seriously,
imagine
right?
Putz trying to play Salmon Run?
Let's try to play some. Everyone would just grief. Yeah, streamers would just get griefed.
Yeah, you're
Streamers
right.
would get griefed.
Holy crap.
How would Putz even Putz could like?
Have you seen those you know, like where they take a brand and they make an
Yeah,
anime girl out of it?
yeah.
A wife, that's what it's
More
like.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's
I wish someone would make me into an anime girl.
Same. Actually, never mind.
I was wrong.
I was gonna make a
so.
dumb joke, but never mind.
What's a, you can just have your VTuber like avatar.
That's true. I would have it as an inkling though, because I'm dumb.
Oh, Agent 3.
Agent 2. What?
Zero.
Agent
Agent
2
2.
exists. Agent 2 is either Callie or Marie. I already
Oh
said they're too old for me.
yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, they're like 30 something.
Uh,
Eh,
What are you saying? I'm 30? Are you saying I'm old?
no.
yeah.
You're no, I'm not. You're only like a year older than me. What?
It might as well be.
Not Agent 3 though.
Yeah. That part's going in.
Yeah.
I think we
So
talked about everything we wanted to talk about.
Well, I think like I guess the last thing is like, well, I mean, there's some stuff changed that I want to bring up too. Like the thing that I said, like for me, the thing that I want to see them change, because if you go into the story mode and you talk to Callie or Marie after you beat the game, they have all these stats, right? Like how many bombs you throw, how many specials you use, how long you play objective, things like that. Like I wish we had some more stats like that that were readily available, and then we didn't have to just
Oh yeah.
dig into the
roll for, yeah.
I like being able
because
to
I
see
think
like I want to see more like in-depth stats of like each game and just like be able to
me
break
too.
down the game or have some sort of replay feature or just have like
Replay feature would be sick. I don't think
It
they're
would
planning, but oh man, that'd be so cool.
because I think because right now you can't really like you can't look at the stats of a game, KA, assists, deaths, and be like, oh, I know exactly how well this player played based on those stats. There's a lot of gray area still,
I
and I
think
feel like if we had some
I don't think
more
we
insight on that.
if we had a replay feature, I don't think having more stats would be necessary. Maybe it would be.
Well, I
maybe
I
mean,
don't know.
I don't know.
well, I'm not saying I'm not talking about it like from a VOD review perspective because I mean obviously if you're like trying to break down who's uh, playing well, then yeah, you would still need to like do a VOD review. I'm just saying like in the moment in a tournament when you don't have time to like analyze the
Oh yeah, you're
replays
right.
to have those
Okay, I
stats
agree with that.
available to the viewers in real time.
Yeah.
They should have an API that's more open for tournament people. That won't happen either. But
No.
I mean, I would just like from a more simple perspective, like in Overwatch 2, right? When you hold tab instead of the screen it that you had before would just show like your teammates all charge and then your medals, it was like an actual scoreboard. So it had you could see everybody in the lobby, your team and the other team. everyone's kills, assists, um, deaths, damage, healing, and then I think something else. Um,
Probably assists.
no, that was already there. Assists, I said that, and then maybe on the bottom there's like more specific stats like, oh, if you have a shield tank, you know how much shield you like blocked, or how much you've eaten, or how much like stuns or whatever. Um, but I liked having the global score scoreboard, like that stat sheet, that everyone can see at any time, because like I'm not gonna lie, like in that game, tanks get blamed a lot. Like if your DPS misses, they're just like, well, my tank's not making space, or my healer didn't heal me, or like, oh, we're not getting any kills, it's gotta be your DPS fault. They're not doing damage, or whatever. Like someone will get blamed. You can just hold tab and see like just from a baseline what's happening. And be like, oh,
Well, that's
by the way, I have 3 times more damage everyone else on the team combined. So you know how you just blamed me, like L ratio, like you suck, right? And like I just want like
Also,
plus Alf, like yeah, I just want to be able to.
skill issue.
I want to be able to see more advanced things. Like even if I have to look at Splatnet, like I'd want to just be able to see like I don't know, like
I think in
objective time.
Splatoon's case, since it's such a short and fast-paced game, we can't have it in game like that.
Yeah,
It would be cool in the
Well,
spectator mode, and I think it would be cool after the match. But
yeah,
I mean, like even Smash has like a long laundry list of stats you can look at after the game.
right. It's like I
I'm
want
not,
to see.
Like
I'm
I
saying
don't.
it probably wouldn't be in game because it's too fast of a game for you to pull that up real quick.
Yeah, you like, but even if I have to check Splatnet, like I'd want to see certain things. I'd want to see weapon accuracy. Like, I mean, that'd be
I
That
hard
mean,
to
one's
I'm
check,
not.
but
hard.
I'd want,
That one's really
like, I'd
hard
want to
to
see like
judge, though.
Are you
special
talking about like
kills.
the players? Are you talking about like the players' aiming skill or like the weapons RNG?
I mean, there's
It,
that too, but like, I'd want to see like something like how many kills did I get with my special? How many assists? Like, I've always wondered how many. Like, I get a lot of assists, but sometimes I feel like,
Like, what are those assists actually
wait,
caused by?
yeah, are those assists because I popped armor, or was I in the fight there? Like, just because I got 20 assists doesn't mean I was only spamming armor. I could have just been getting good bombs or something.
Yeah, I like a breakdown, like
Yeah, I'd want to
how
see
many
how many
kills,
bomb
kills by
kills
special,
everyone got. I'd want to,
kills by main weapon, stuff like that. I think it would be cool as well.
yeah, like,
accuracy would be hard though because you paint.
right. That
So
one wouldn't really work, but like,
Charger has one in the thing, but every time I always have like 5%, especially when I was playing
Yeah, because
Spider
you're
Scope,
painting.
because you're painting.
no, you missed skill issue.
I did miss them.
You had, no, you had 95% miss rate.
Yeah, God.
But like, I'd want to see more in-depth breakdowns of stuff, and aside from just kills and because the end screen is literally kills um and
Specials.
specials. That's
No,
literally
it's
it.
not even kills and specials. It's K plus A
Right.
and specials.
I don't know. I really like the end screen, like just from a coolness perspective, where it because it showed you like watch the end screen of the third trailer. One of them was like most kills in the lobby medal. One of them was
It's like
most kills in the team
CS:GO.
medal.
That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, it
CS:GO
reminded me
has
of
something
like
like that.
end cards of like both Overwatch and Valorant and Apex, and like it just like
Yeah,
more stuff like
Valorant,
that.
CS:GO, same thing.
Yeah.
I made people mad.
Uh-huh. It's the same thing. They're the same game. They're
Same
copies.
thing.
There's nothing different about them. But like I like that's a step in the right direction. Like I don't know. More information is always cooler. I don't know. Like people are gonna like to see it. It's not like people are gonna dislike it. If they dislike it, is it like what are they gonna cry that it's on their Splatnet app? Or are they gonna piss their pants because at the end it told them if they got the most kills or not?
Yeah, exactly. And I think this goes back to the like the whole organization thing because if you're trying to judge players and you don't have stats, like obviously stats will never tell the full story in any game or sport or whatever, but just even having a better picture of it, I think would help because as it stands right now, the only way you can really like break down how well someone is playing relative to another player, there, you pretty much have two options. You can look at tournament results, that like, or you can do an in-depth VOD review of their player and break down everything they're doing. So I feel like if we have more in-depth stats to try and differentiate them, it might make it a little bit easier to rank players, understand like what each player is doing well, what each player is not doing well at compared to their peers. Because as of right now, it's kind of a challenge to try and rank people, unless you have like head-to-head tournament results or something like that.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's just why don't we have it? It doesn't make sense.
I just don't think Nintendo sees a reason for it, even though there would be like, I guess, I
Japan
mean,
would
I guess
even
there
find
isn't
it
really.
useful. So I
Oh,
don't
they
know.
definitely
I don't
would.
know if like they're saying that they want it, but they would find it useful if they added it. It's like one of those things where if you don't think about it, you're
Yeah,
not
you
gonna
don't
know
realize
you
how
want
much
it.
you miss it,
Yeah.
especially if they don't play other games. Like if this launched in like Korea, like to be like if this popped off in Korea, um, they would definitely demand different things than what JP demands. Uh, because they're
Cam
used
Yeah.
to
plays a
other
lot of
games.
Valorant, so
Maybe. Yeah,
Valorant
that's a
and
good
what's
point.
the other one? Apex.
Apex. Yeah.
Actually, I think they play a lot of Apex. I might be mixing the two up. I just know that when I follow top players in Japan, and I usually see I don't remember if it's Apex or Valorant. It's one of the two, or maybe it's both. I think they're
Hmm.
the same game, so
They are the same game.
yeah, they're both shooters. Same thing.
Uh-huh.
Splatoon is just Call of Duty. There's no difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they have banners.
I
Uh,
love the banners. I hope I can get creative with them. I hope they're not basic and boring. I hope there's more than eight.
Well, it looked like they had like a built-in place for you to put your Discord tag in there too,
I
because they
don't think
have
that's what
ID
it is.
numbers,
I
four-digit
don't think, yeah,
numbers.
maybe that's not Discord. Maybe that's just how the game's friend works, system works, which I hope it is because it means they revamped the friend
Well,
It's
system.
got to be something. I don't know what it is,
yeah,
but there's something
well, but
new.
but even if it's not intended to be that, if you can customize it, then you can use it for that purpose.
That's
I doubt
true.
you can change that.
It might just be like a sign, like a unique user ID, and it's like lick my balls, it's not
Oh, it
changing.
can't be an ID because that's
It
too
can't be
short.
unique though, because it's only 4 digits.
I
It can't
bet
be a
it's like
unique
Discord
ID.
where you have a name and then you have a discriminator, so that way you can multiple people can have the same name.
Uh,
It could be, but I mean, this game doesn't have that, and they still have people with the same name, so I don't know.
I'd make
Well,
ultimate
I'm
like
saying
hard.
it's probably something very it's a new system we don't know about, but it uses the same idea as Discord. I doubt it's Discord though. It's very unlikely that Nintendo did anything with Discord.
Well, I'm not saying it's like linked to Discord, just that like
I don't think you could
if
change
you
it,
could
Elias.
change
I
it.
don't think you can. I doubt you'd be able to. It'd be something assigned to the game from the game. You have your
Yeah.
discriminator, and that's it.
I just like what would be the reasoning for it then? If
It's got
because
to
if
be a
you're
new
already allowed
system,
to
like
have
I
the
said.
same name, because if you're
I hope it's a
already
new
able
system,
to,
yeah.
so like, would you think this is like a Splatoon specific thing, or is
Yeah.
it
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
like you
got
have
to be.
friends within Splatoon
I
that are
mean,
not even
I
I've been
to
wonder
your
if
so many games
you know
like
how everybody in this game put adds everybody as a friend. That's the only way you can add somebody to PB.
Scrim.
yeah.
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 So maybe instead you can use their name with a discriminator. Wait, that sounds too complicated. It would be too annoying to type that in.
I
Maybe
don't know. I
though.
guess we'll find out.
I
I
mean,
don't like that though.
I've been playing other like third-party Nintendo Switch games, and like they have their own friend system where you just add friends and you can make a guild, you can make chats, you can
Oh, maybe that's what it is. That
like
way you would let's say there's two Kyos, you know which one's the real one. That's probably what
yeah.
it is.
So you can't make imposters.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Boom.
You know what? Like, how do you guys feel about a universal ranking system, like one ranking system, but they make it so that they tighten up the matchmaking so that you can only pair with people who are like right next to you in rank. So it'd be like one system, and you would just get like one blanket score, and that's
Right.
your rank
I
instead of
mean, that'd
having
just
like
be how other
C
games do
minus
it.
through
But
X, because they already give you a power system as it is. So like, why can't they just turn it into one, like one rank number
I mean, they
instead of
could,
having like a
and then
C plus
they
whatever?
would just make it so you start at like 500 or something, and then so 0 to 500 is like C
Yeah,
or C minus or whatever you
something
want
like
to call
that.
it, and then you just climb up until X rank would just be 2500 plus, and then
Well, you wouldn't even have like you wouldn't even need to have like the letter labels. You could just
most games
it could just be
do
like
though. Like Overwatch has bronze, silver, plat, diamond, masters, grandmaster. Almost every game has it. Like League of Legends has that. At their
Does
like
it?
little wood rank. Almost like every game, like they have the power, and then they just have a name associated with it, and like every 500 is the range or whatever, and like just to have like a little thing there, so it's like, oh, if you hit
well,
rank
I mean, I
that
guess
sticker.
yeah. So that way, it's you at least have some sort of label that you can put on it. But I just don't like the way they did their. I just don't think the rank system works out like outside of X rank, and X rank itself doesn't even work.
You
But like
don't
everything
like
below
how
X
the
rank,
rank
I just feel
system
like
doesn't work because it doesn't work.
yeah, it doesn't. But I mean, part of that is because our player base isn't big enough, but part of that is also just because the rank system is trash. I mean, if we had a better rank system, then it wouldn't matter that we didn't have a big enough player base.
I think
I
the
think if
flip
we had
side
better
is what they
servers, we
did.
could have it global, and then we wouldn't have that problem anymore.
Well, the game's not region locked, so
Mm,
I don't know if
I don't
kind
know.
of.
Ping
It's
is an
geolocation.
issue. Like if you had a server, ping would still be an issue. If I connect to EU servers, I still have like 200
Yeah, I guess
and
so.
I have pretty good internet.
yeah, that's true.
Um,
But Splatoon definitely has geolocation. If you set your VPN to Japan, you only get Japan people.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I think one thing they don't want the matchmaking to take too long because they don't want you to wait like 2 minutes for a 5 minute game.
Weird. It's like you do that already.
But like,
yeah,
I don't like, cause like, yeah, that happens. Like in solo queue, I like get games in like 30 seconds for a 5 minute game, right? But then
yeah.
if I do League, for some reason League is just dead most of the time. I'll wait 5 minutes for a 5 minute game, and after half an hour, we just get bored and tired of it. It's like the games aren't long enough, and that's why I think they should add a ranked mode. That's like what ranked is currently should be quick play, and then ranked would be best of three,
Like okay.
and then
I
so
think if you do that, you need to have some sort of like weapon queue
I think
where you
if
can
you,
see what everyone's playing.
I think
I
if you
think
did
you
that, it wouldn't be a Nintendo, and that's not gonna happen.
yeah. I mean, like, what it is what they should do, like
Yeah,
I
objectively.
don't think a best of three is gonna happen. I mean, it would be, I would love it, but I don't think, I don't think Nintendo is gonna do that.
Nintendo
You would
doesn't like
also
long stuff.
you'd fix every problem because you'd fix the problem of weapons because what you could do is once you get your team, you could have a 30-second window to you queue with your weapons. So your weapon would be auto-selected, and then if anyone's conflicting or like not even conflicting because
Then you get,
you'd have like a little chance if you need to switch weapons, switch gear. You would then know the map. It could tell you the map as you have that chance. Because right now you get two maps, and then you just go in. Right, you don't know which map you're gonna get. Where PBs doesn't work like that.
right.
You pick the map first, and then you pick your comp. Um, it would fix the issue of you're allowed to tighten the matchmaking because games would last more than 5 minutes. You're not gonna wait longer than you would be able to play. Um, The only issue that everyone comes up with is just if someone DCs in the first match, you're sitting there stuck playing another extra match with a DC, and that sucks.
That's true.
And
I
that
mean, I mean, I'm sure they could come up with like, if there's a DC, then the set is just auto forfeit. I don't think it'd be. like hard for them to implement that if they did go with a system like that. Just auto cancel the set if there's a DC.
Well, if like let's just say you're winning, right? And you win the first game, and like with like 1 minute left, someone DCs, but you still win, and then you wouldn't want it to end because you're up 1-0. But then you go into the second game and you lose, and then you go into the third game and you lose because of the DC, and like they take forever because you're better than the other team, but like you also down a player, and like I don't know, DCing would just be an issue the longer the games go because L,
I
but
don't know. I mean, like my opinion is you should never like. I just don't think games should ever be played where there's an uneven number of players. Like I just don't think there's ever a circumstance where
yeah,
that should happen.
I think it's really dumb that if the Nintendo was like, we'll just make it equals lobby, and then you just don't lose, still lose points. It's so
yeah.
dumb. Like if it's a
I know.
2v2, they're like, you still lose points. That's
I've
so
had that
dumb.
happen, like
I've had one v
where
one.
half the lobby
I had one v
DC'd.
ones too. Yeah, I'm playing Charger, and it's like, well, okay, I
I've had a
lose.
2v0.
Who?
I did.
Awesome.
I had a 2v0 in ranked. So we just rode the tower and squid flopped for 30 seconds.
Squid flopped. I haven't heard that one before.
Wow.
I do like it though.
That's what I call it when it's like partying rather than taunting. Cause like if you taunting someone, you're squid bagging. If you're like just partying, it's like a squid
Yeah,
flop.
I guess that makes sense.
I feel like that's everything I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I mean I think we went over pretty much everything
Yeah, I gotta
that
pee
we know
like
so
really
far.
bad, so
Uh-huh,
Okay.
uh-huh. Keep
How
that
do we
in.
want to end this?
that's a good way to
Uh,
end it.
Oh, okay. Well,
well, that'll be it. And
you heard it
then,
here. So Jordan has to pee. So we have to.
Yeah, woohoo.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode. This is something that we're going to be trying to do weekly. We have plans to have some more members in here in the upcoming weeks. We may move from 2 to 3 or maybe even 4 full-time members, depending on how things go. So look forward to having some more guests on in the future. If you have any guest recommendations as well, please leave them in the comments. I mean, I'll hear them out, even if it's someone I've never heard of. Who knows? Maybe they'd be a great guest. Anything else?
uh, skill issue.
I love you so
Uh-huh,
much.
uh-huh.
Every viewer, comment something. I don't know.
Tell us what you want in Splatoon 3.
Yeah,
Three
yeah,
fifty.
yeah, yeah.
And what do you guys want us to talk about in future podcasts?
Should I come back or do I suck on this podcast? That's a
Uh-huh,
good question.
Yeah,
uh-huh. That's
yeah,
a
we
good
should.
question.
I'll put a poll. I'll put a poll on my channel. Does Jordan suck or do you want him back?
Yeah, the two options.
Basically,
Suck.
ratio Jordan. Ratio Jordan in the comments.
Oh no.
Ratio at Delta Jordan on Twitter.
Actually, it's Delta Jordan M. Because
Um,
somebody took Delta
Ah,
Jordan.
yes.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
It's a private account from 2014 that probably isn't used anywhere.
Yeah.
Maybe it got deleted finally.
Ratio.
It didn't. Okay.
Skill issue. Ratio, you're bad. Bye.
Bye.